Thanks.
It's in the Discord. The Discord?
All right.
Okay.
Looks like we can hear me. Looks like I'm coming through. Guys, make some noise.
Oh.
Hello, gamers. I didn't see you there.
Can everyone hear us okay? Richard, can you... Oh, Ken, can you hear
everybody. I think I heard everybody.
Awesome.
Oh,
Sounds good. Sweet. Looks like I'm a little cut off up here, but that's just because of the thing, so that's fine. Really? Oh, gosh. I am pumped for today because we're getting back into the main story.
Bobby needs a win.
Yes, we have the new emote. Bobby needs a win.
Sorry, I couldn't help myself.
I'm in love with it.
Beautiful.
I love Creamer a lot, but I really love that Bobby needs a win emote.
Nobody needs a win.
So, I think we still have like a while before we unlock the next emote slot, but we'll start brainstorming, see what happens when we get there. Only announcement this week, besides that we're getting back into our main characters with some good old-fashioned role-playing, is that it's Wizard Week on my Patreon. Starting tomorrow and every other day, I'll be doing a certain theme, or a certain category of wizard-themed stuff. So tomorrow it's going to be items, 2 days after that it's going to be feats, and then 2 days after that, I might dip in and design my own arcane tradition, based off of some kind of something that I've been watching recently. We'll see how I'm feeling. I'm looking forward to it. I might include some of the things you'll see tonight in Wizard Week stuff, just because there's going to be some magical-y things. Spoilers.
No way. Magic?
Magic.
In my D&D?
No way.
Is the Magic Gathering?
This is not.
How do I remove Travis from the video calls? That might... Okay.
Carefully.
However, if Wizards does want to sponsor us, we are open. Contact Logan.
Please.
Give him a job.
Give me a job, please.
Yeah.
I think that's it. Xavier, is there anything you want to plug before we get started? And we do some role-playing warm-ups?
Yes, I beat Kingdom Hearts 2, so now we're starting a brand new series.
Are you feeling simple and clean?
No, I feel complicated and disgusting.
I was gonna say, if someone asked you to explain the plot of Kingdom Hearts 2 now, would you be able to?
Can you summarize
do
Kingdom
it.
Hearts in a sentence?
Oh, yeah. No.
You could have just said light, good, darkness, bad.
Honestly, though, but it's more complicated than that.
There's some
though.
gray in there. Yeah.
There's a little bit of gray
If
in
we
there.
had a solid 15 minutes, I could explain to you the plot of Kingdom Hearts, but no one wants to hear that. It's been done before.
all right.
You see, you're stepping over a big thing, and that is Sea Turtle Goofy. And you see that I will not let. I will not let you
What about
summarize
Tortoise
Kingdom
Goofy?
Hearts without
Let
Sea
Goofy
Turtle
swear.
What about Tortoise Goofy?
Yuck.
Let's talk about
Listen.
that.
Listen, can we talk about
I'm in a ball
disembodied
fight.
Donald Duck? Can we talk about that? Can we talk about that? No.
Can we talk about the fact that I don't remember when you stopped playing Kingdom Hearts 1 and
All right,
started playing
yeah,
Kingdom Hearts 2?
Oh, sorry. No, I mean I beat Kingdom Hearts 1. I haven't started. Kingdom
Okay.
Hearts 2. But so Tuesday though, we're starting Devil May Cry 5, which
Nice.
is
Hell
gonna be fun.
yeah.
So that's a really cool
Devil
game.
Trigger.
Yeah, and I am 96 followers, so 4 followers away from 100. So
Xavier,
Stop what you're
we
doing
have
right
the
now.
Same number of followers.
are we twins?
Yeah, we're twins.
We twins? Oh my god!
Everyone go follow Xavier. He's cool.
Yeah, for
we
real, though.
promise.
Somebody stop following one of them and show them who's your favorite.
Yeah, everyone leave this channel. Go follow Xavier.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's about it.
Sweet. So on that note, I'm ready to get started if everyone else is. Do a little role-playing warm-up. I think we kind of roughly restarted during some new hire stuff, but we'll do a little bit more formal start with everyone here. You'll notice we're missing someone. Due to some events previously,
We killed Alan. It finally happened.
Wendolyn will not be rejoining for now. And so Alan is sitting out this session and will be joining back with us next week. Alan is alive unless someone has taken Alan's phone and has been texting me, which you never know these days. So we'll see. But yes,
It was me.
Alan
I
should be
killed
alive.
Alan.
So
Oh.
so I'm gonna go ahead and mark Alan off on this list. I'm gonna roll a d6 here, and ask one of you to roll something for me. Jacob, if you'll roll a d20 for me, I have upped my number of role-playing warm-up prompts.
All right, let's see. I will do this. 11.
11. Ooh, this is interesting. I think the last time Donovan may not have even truly slept too much the last time he did sleep. But what is the last thing that Donovan dreamt about? And honestly, you could take this two different ways. Last time he what did he last literally dream about whenever he slept? Or what's the last thing he has, dreamed and aspired about?
I think the last thing that he would have, had a dream, at least, a what-if kind of dream was, just, a nice day with his complete family. Not just being a single dad, being tired all the time, but, having the time to, spend with his deceased wife and alive daughter. Just having that, he probably would have just dreamed of a nice day on the town, walking around, just being a happy family. And it would have been one of those things where he woke up and is that's not a thing that's possible, but he's gonna make the best of the life he has right now.
That is a perfect beginning to how this session is going to go.
Oh no. I don't like that.
So as doing a quick recap and leading into what's going on. The last day, 24 hours of our investigators' lives has been eventful. It has been fast moving. They each somewhat went back to their normal day-to-day lives, returning to school, returning to work. Some of them just dove deeper into the investigation, trying to review anything that they've uncovered. Of course, the investigation never left their minds. Some of them, even during their normal working day, still spent time thinking about what's going on. Most of them took a half day to continue their investigations. They went, stalked potential suspects. They went and warned potential victims. Some of them had meetings with important people in their lives. Some of them were offered certain opportunities that might be difficult to pass up. They interviewed a potential victim or suspect or someone involved and were coldly shut out. They got word of an attack in one of the city's wards, proclaiming an entity, person, an ideal called the House Killer. Quickly rushing across the city, they got in a street scuffle with guards that were protecting the ward. They entered into the otherwise abandoned or locked up ward to find the lone House Killer or attacker, vandalizing the roads with a blade. In an act of bravery, Wendelin offered to step forward as sort of a spokesperson, a protector of the city, while everyone hovered above, watching, waiting, and readying themselves. Most of what was said and done was done secretly, quietly, so only bits and pieces were picked up by everyone else. And then in a flash, Wendelin and this attacker, using a combination of their abilities and magic, escaped. The rest of the investigators had to leave Wendelin to do whatever she was doing. When prompted telepathically, no concrete response was given about her intentions or goals with leaving with the attacker. But as of right now, Wendelin and the attacker are in the wind, gone. Pretty exhausted from the day, they all, for their own safety, went and stayed at the Golden Manticore Estate in Mithril Tower with Oleg. Their night of rest, which was very much needed, was interrupted at 3 o'clock in the morning by dozens and dozens and dozens of knights, spies, spellcasters, agents of the King's Citadel, the branch of law enforcement that is devoted to the nation and kingdom of Breland, the King of Breland, and things of national security. Because of the specific attack on High Walls being a sort of refuge ward, it was almost deemed an act of terrorism, even though not much was actually known about the attacker. Because of what had transpired and your investigations with what is going on, you were detained by the King's Citadel. Not in a necessarily antagonistic way, they just needed to know what was going on and get to the bottom of it to see if their involvement is necessary. So, of course, you were given a slightly better treatment than most detainees would get. You were escorted to various sky coaches and flown to Andeth Tower, where you will be processed and detained and questioned. So, you all arrive at Andeth Tower via sky coach. You're kind of carried separately, not really given the chance to talk much beforehand, but also some of you have ways of communicating in different ways. But you arrive at sort of a back entrance of Andeth Tower, a back dock, where you're sort of kept away from many of the ambassadors, many of the traveling representatives from other nations, because Andeth Tower is part of a cluster of the ambassadors' towers, where delegations meet from other nations, embassies are constructed, and so there's a lot of important people who are protected by other strong and important people. You all are kept out of view, taken to a back dock for Andeth Tower, escorted through essentially a side entrance, so as not to arouse too much suspicion. But of course, at what is now 4 a.m., there's really not too many people around to get suspicious. You are taken through process. You're kind of warned ahead of time that they will have to confiscate weapons, spellcasting foci. They warn you about some anti-magic parameters set in some of the holding cell areas, and to just, all you have to do is wait. They'll let you out. It's just a matter of how quickly they can do that, and how much information they gather. But they do, the woman who has sort of been leading this agent, her title is Dark Lantern. Her name is, let me scroll back to my notes here. Dark Lantern Usid. She is sort of an espionage agent of the King's Citadel, and she's kind of leading this for the moment. And she kind of warns you all that she kind of suspects that House Madani, House Kundarak will be by fairly quickly to bail out their scions that they have. So they'll have to start with them first, kind of work through the rest of the night to get whatever questions in, and then kind of get to everyone else a little bit later. So, of course, the preliminary things that they do, they take you through this very sterile marble white plastered hall down to the holding cells that are closed off with a lead door. Citadel knights are waiting by everywhere. The holding cell area, you are in a cell, but there's, a nice bed. There is a small, effectively what looks like a little private bathroom within the cell, a cleansing stone. It's nice quarters. You're just being held in there for the time being. but you can all see each other. You could even chat if you wanted. But you're all taken in there, and sort of while you're in there and all together, they go ahead and do some preliminary asking. They go ahead and warn you that they will be using magic to get the answers that they need. Things like Zone of Truth, some Detect Thoughts, just things to aid in their questioning and make it go by quicker for you so you can get out of here. And we have all communicated about what kind of information you want to try and hold back. And for the most part, you are all charismatic in your own ways. Oleg, a little less so, but you are smart. And so there is a certain wit in charisma that will allow you to logically choose your words carefully, so as not to release any information you don't want released. So over the course of about an hour of magic, Dark Lantern usage and some of her assistants asking questions and casting spells, they effectively determined that what has been done by you guys so far has not been malicious in any way. You are not acting in part with any malicious entity. We're not aiding the proclaimed house killer, as it may have seemed. You were there under the intention of stopping them, under protecting, ending this, believing that they are a cause of all of this. So it is fairly quickly dismissed that you have any malicious intents, which is pretty much what will make the rest of this a little bit easier. So then they, kind of dismiss you and say that you can go ahead and get whatever rest you need, because at this point it's like 5 o'clock in the morning. Pretty much stay up all night. Oleg is being questioned first, so he will not necessarily be able to get a whole lot of good sleep. But they question you nonetheless. They essentially say, Varian, you will be up next, because we're just operating under the assumption that your families will be here first thing in the morning to get you. And so they do. And rather than actually roleplay or go through any of these interrogations, because honestly, that's not going to be fun for anyone. There's going to be a lot of zones of truth, detect thoughts, and all sorts of things. They're going to get the information. It's just a matter of how. And so they get whatever information they need from Oleg. Oleg, you're taken back to your holding cell. And it isn't long before next they quickly usher in Varian back for questioning, and at around 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, when this happens, Oleg, you feel a warmth behind your ear and a voice just kind of whisper subtly and say, "Oh, we can't have you in there now. Just one moment." About 15-20 minutes pass, and one of the Citadel agents walks in. "Master Kundrak, your family is here for you. Come with me." And Oleg, as you are taken down these whitewashed halls, marble floors, you take a turn, walk through a lead door, and you kind of go into more of the front-facing side of Andith Tower. It's carpeted, wine-red rugs running down the marble floors. The whitewashed walls are replaced with beautiful murals of the Breland landscapes and pastoral fields. You see people walking around with portfolios and magical devices and chatting with one another, talking about whatever cases, whatever delegations they need to go meet, different matters of importance from other nations, and all sorts of stuff. All kind of a blur. And as you turn a corner to effectively one last lead door, when it's opened up, you see the front-facing waiting room of Andith Tower. One of the many, probably, because as far as you know, beneath where you guys were being held were just floors and floors and floors of more jail cells, because this is essentially the city jail, and so there are probably many more layers of cells. And as you emerge out into the waiting room, you see your Aunt Fulcia, her hair tied up, frizzy, still in sort of like her floral PJs. She looks terribly worried, and she has a crowd of maybe 15 or so people around her. And they all look equally as tired. And you look and you notice that one of them is your friend, your shifter friend, Badger, who owns Badger's Baubles down in Little Barovia. And they all kind of get a smile on their face when they see you. And it takes a moment. And you start looking at everyone else, and immediately you think they're strangers. Like, why are they all standing so close to my aunt? But then there's like a second warmth that comes over you, and you think, oh no, they're family friends. Yeah, of course. But for some reason, it's like when you like recognize someone, but you don't remember their name, and you're like, oh yeah, you. It's like that, but with this entire group of 15 people, except for your aunt and Badger. And the moment you emerge, Aunt Fulcia, she runs up and says, Oleg, honey, I've missed you so much. Are you okay? Did they hurt you?
Tyota, so nice to see you. No, there's no problem. I would like to know if we could see if there's something we could do for my friends, but it's so nice for you and the rest of the family to come out.
And you look around, and you see that,
I
like...
miss the Oleg voice.
I know, right? This fairly short, round-looking human man walks over and just kind of puts a hand on her shoulder and says, real glad we got you out of there, bud. I mean, we had to scrape together everything we had, but we couldn't let you sit in there for a moment longer.
Oh wait, that was right.
I appreciate it. Could we not reach family funds? Is that not? I appreciate the family coming together, but.
And you see your Aunt Fulcia. She says, I didn't even think of that. But we just got all so excited. Everyone started pitching in, like all of their money and whatever they had, and we just all rushed down here as soon as we could. We can maybe see about getting something from the bank and helping some of your friends. I mean, I'm sure they wouldn't be keen on us getting everyone out, but we could try.
I would appreciate it. How much was it to get me out anyway?
And you see, like, kind of all at once, they're like, oh, I put in this much. Your bail, for each of you, this would work, is set at, what was it? 500 gold pieces.
That's quite the bounty. I appreciate it. Hopefully, I'm sure the family will reimburse anything that you need. Also, that sounds good. I have a favor later. I need to remember to ask Teotia, but definitely. This is amazing. Maybe we can contact. Who can we contact the bank as quickly as possible to get my friends out? I'm sure. Have we contacted? Has everybody been contacted in the family for the rest of the people? Everybody did like a call, right?
Yeah, everyone got sort of the chance to make whatever calls they needed.
And I called my auntie.
Huh?
Okay. I called my aunt, or do I remember who I called specifically? It feels like I would have called.
Who would you?
I feel like I would have called. Funny enough, I probably would have called my cuz, the one who's the head of the bank.
So you would have called her, of course. 4 a.m.
Yeah, of course. I would have called somebody who would have contacted her. I'm sure.
And using essentially a sending spell to do so. Says, yeah, when I go in, I'll see what I can procure. I know Dad won't be so keen on just drawing out a bunch of money to bail my cousin out of jail, but I'll see what I can gather. And as of right now, she has not arrived, but your aunt did, uncalled, unannounced.
Interesting.
And on that note, make an intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw.
Yep.
All right. here. Oleg dice. Intelligence saving throw. That is going to be a 24.
You know, you called your cousin. You did not call your aunt. She would otherwise have not know unless a servant told her. And with that, you can't imagine she would have gotten together everything, all of this, so quickly. It's just something is not adding up quite right about this.
I'll say, on TLT, I don't feel as though we should talk here. Let's head out. Let's talk.
Of course,
Felicia.
and if you
Oh, sure.
since you've clearly had a long night, I could go swing by the bank. You can go home, get some rest. We'll whip you up some food or something.
No. I have had a long night, but I appreciate everybody coming up, and I kind of hand out I hand out as much gold as I can to everybody. I have how much gold do I have on my person? I have 464 gold, so I'd hand out that amount of gold to everybody, except for my aunt, to like pay them back for everything.
They all refuse. They absolutely refuse.
I'll say, okay, well, you'll get it back from the family one way or another. That sounds great. Well, yes, I am tired. I will go by the bank to procure funds and whatnot. But yeah, let's talk a little bit, and I'll walk with her and as we're going out and about. I guess.
The group of like 15 people kind of follow behind you, and you see Badger walk by. That kind of round human man walks past, and this gnomish woman walks past you, and she turns around and looks up at you and kind of does just like a little like tiny salute. You see that she kind of has like a freckled face, kind of ruddy skin. And she says, "All right, boss, see you at home."
And this is who? Wait, who
It's
says
just
that?
it's a gnomish woman whose name you can't, and name and face you can't quite place. But for some reason, when she says "see you at home," you kind of start to think like, do they live? They live with me? They're.
Yes, I'll see you at the home. I'm very sorry. It's very late at night. My brain is scattered from all the questioning that they did of me. Can you remind me how I know you? What your name is? Something must have happened in there to make me forget. I greatly apologize.
Make another intelligence saving throw.
Intelligence saving throw. Jesus Christ. Okay, dice. You love me, right? You don't have to answer like that, bitch. 16.
A 16. Yeah, you know them, and whenever they say their name, yes, her name is Kidley. She's a friend of the family. She's a mage, right? You met her through some of your art as an artificer. Some of your clients, you've kind of sent some stuff out for her to work on, and you kind of glance at all these people, and it all starts coming back to you. You remember all of their names, and yes, they all do live with you. They all sort of just help out around the manor. They help tend to the yard. They help cook and things like that. They're not your servants, but they just kind of help keep the place afloat. You have actual like maids and stuff, but they kind of do a little bit of the extra work.
And I say, "Oh, Kidley, I'm very sorry. I did not mean to to forget. My brain, late. How did you all seem to contact and come so quickly?"
Oh, well, we all just, I think you're, what was it? And you kind of see that at first, the look in her eye is like, oh god, I gotta come up with something quick. And then there's just like a flash of, oh no, wait, this is what it was. Like, either she forgot and now she remembers, or you're not sure. She says, yeah, your Aunt Fulcia, she got one of the messaging stations to reach out to us, and, you know, we all pulled together some money and come bail you out.
Guilty of Fulcia, how did you hear about this? I did not.
Well, I think it was just one of those things, like, you know, kind of like a seer or an oracle. I was having a dream, and I just, you know how whenever you're having a dream, there's sort of something like out of your field of view, but you know it's there. Like if I was having a dream and you were in my dream, and I didn't necessarily see you, but I knew you were in my dream. It was kind of like that. You were there, and I could feel that you were in trouble, that something happened, and when I woke up, I just felt something was wrong, and I asked one of the cooks, and they had mentioned that they heard about yada yada yada. Found out you were here.
Oh, interesting. Yes, but interesting. Can I... Not an insight check. I don't know what this would be, to kind of see, like, how have I heard of her doing, like, having some kind of foretelling thought process before, or, like, do I make any kind of connection? Like, have I heard of this before, basically, from her?
It depends. Travis, how much can I fuck with you?
You can do whatever, yeah.
Make an intelligence saving throw.
Another intelligence saving throw. Okay. Okay, that's a 24 again.
That's a little out of character. And even if she did do that, or if that was a normal thing for her to do, it's still a bit uncanny how quickly she could have gotten a group of 15 people here. Well, if they're all working in your manor, maybe not as much, but it's just, there's something, pieces aren't falling into place like they should.
Okay, I'm gonna remember back about like 15, 20 minutes ago, maybe 30 minutes ago by now, and remember the voice saying, "You're in there," and I'm gonna say out loud, voice in head. Why?
Voice in head.
Why? What did you mean by this? I don't understand.
Well, you know, like, it's like your gut, your inner voice, your...
Yeah, no, not you. Tilted. I'm sorry. I was, Foshia. I was just, you know, I had a moment. I need to. And I kind of scratch at my skull, scratch behind my ear a little bit,
and you feel like the gem that's always been there.
That's always been there.
Always been there.
I'll just say, you know, I do need to go to sleep. Do you mind contacting the bank? You're right. I do need to go back.
Of course, yeah, absolutely.
Thank you. And very much. Can you see if we can get any funds for a couple of my friends? I will definitely, in the next couple of jobs I have, I'll pay back the family if need be. Some of my friends are not quite as fortunate as us for getting out of jail.
Yes, that can be arranged. I don't want you to pick a favorite, but if I can only get one or two,
I'll say, well, my dear friend Spike, he only has a book to his name, and I don't.
You don't have to say me. It's okay, Travis. I know.
No, you have a family. Spike doesn't even have family.
One singular family.
a kid in college.
That's true. And I'll say, and on top of that, if at all possible, I also kind of need a procurement of a diamond worth 300 gold, if at all possible, and I'll give her the 300 gold.
Oh, of course, yes.
And if it helps any, I'll give you the rest of my money as well, if I can get a second person at all. And I'll give her 164 gold and say, like, I know this isn't much, but I just, like, if at all possible, just something. Maybe help get one more person.
I'll see what I can do. Just you go get some rest. Get some rest.
Okay, cool. And I'll subtract my 464 gold. And
Zero.
0. Yeah. And I'll go to sleep and start taking up all the airwaves.
Yep, you go home. And of course you see your 15 friends who live with you, your 15 roommates.
Wait, do they live on the grounds? Like, is this?
Yep.
I have 15 other people who live in my mansion.
Yep, a lot of them are bunking up in some rooms, and a few of them, they say, like, what's this doing in my room? And they carry out a bag, and you immediately recognize as, like, Spike's backpack, or any of Spike's belongings they left behind, or Cornelius's belongings that were left. Like, you recognize people's stuff that they had to leave in sort of this...
But do I remember them living in my house? Like, I know that, like...
Yeah, they've always lived there.
They've always lived there.
Always lived there.
All 15 of you. I don't know. When are we all moving out again? I appreciate the help, and it's been a long night. But I remember liking a long time. It seems odd to have.
Badger laughs and puts his big furry arm around you, and he says, "Oleg, I think jail made you funnier. Here, I'll have the servants whip up some tea, and we'll get you in bed. You're exhausted."
It definitely made me something. I'm gonna go ahead and I'll drink some tea mixed with a little bit of. Oh no, this is the wrong character. I'm not mixing any.
You're not Morel.
I'm not Morel. I'm drinking tea. Yes, I drink tea and then go to bed.
Okay.
You picked up some mushrooms from Morel.
Yes.
Yeah.
Morel was in the cell across the hall. He was. He was around.
Dang it. I knew the connection was there somewhere.
Somewhere. Okay. And so Folcia goes about trying to procure your diamond, getting some money from Kundarak Bank to potentially bail someone out later in the day. Travis, Oleg, is there anything that you would, well, you long rest, but is there anything else in particular you want to try and do, assuming Folcia gets her stuff done?
Yeah, assuming if Folcia gets her stuff done, the only other thing I would do would be to contact... well, no, I can't contact that person. I don't want to seem too suspicious, because I'm sure they still seem to... Well, first, am I getting followed?
Are you getting followed?
Followed. Am I, like, I'm going to search my stuff to see if maybe I've been, like, bugged in some way, if I'm getting followed.
No, you are not. No.
Okay, cool. Then if that's the case, then, I am going to get... Oh, do I know where Pickle is?
No.
No, okay,
No.
I don't know where Pickle is.
That's good. I need to remember that Pickle exists.
Can I contact Rick and Greycastle and tell him that we got arrested?
You sure could.
And to watch out for any kind of things, because they're researching us, and I don't think that anybody's going to do anything. But just be aware.
Yep. Okay. Good note.
Other than that, I don't write many notes, so.
So if you guys notice, we're on session 14, and we played like 5 or 6 prior to the stream, so we played about 20 sessions plus one-shots plus side arcs, so probably 30 sessions of this campaign. And like 3 days ago, Travis was like, okay, so Sharn is like a vertical city made out, so it's like the districts are both vertical and horizontal.
You can't make this up. This is real.
Oh, actually, that is actually true. That's 100% true. Actually, other than that, is my sky coach back at my home now? Like, where's my sky coach?
Yeah, your sky coach, it never left once you flew out of High Walls. You parked it at your house, and then you were arrested, taken to Andith Tower. So it never left.
Did we, as another point, we never got any message or anything from anything that happened in the side adventures, right?
Probably not, no.
Okay. Okay. Sorry guys, I'm just thinking of any kind of thing since I'm the first one out.
Is there something in particular you were fishing for that I may have forgotten about?
No, I'm trying to think. I have explosives.
Jesus fucking.
No. Did they ask? Okay, cool. Yep. Nope. I'm gonna make sure I'm gonna collect my guns, make sure that in my room. I'm going to make a note to see about how to kick out people from my land. And I'm gonna go to sleep. Yeah, I think. Unless somebody doesn't come back by morning. Otherwise I'll do something about it. But
Okay.
Gets arrested, goes home, immediately begins stocking munitions.
Yep.
I don't know why you sound so surprised.
I know, that's very on brand. Oh,
Yeah.
and
I'm not surprised, just amused.
and I
Carson,
need
you're blurry.
Am I?
Yeah,
Okay.
you're blurry.
and I need to update some numbers of mine. Travis,
There you
what?
go.
Oh, perfect.
Everyone leveled up at last time. So we're all level 9 now.
Mm-hmm.
9.
So assuming you've leveled up long rested XYZ, Travis, what is your armor class?
Armor class is still 16.
Passive perception.
I don't think any of my abilities went up.
Yeah.
Passive perception is 10.
Awesome. What is your spell save DC?
Spell save DC. Oh yeah, that's right. Spell save DC is 16.
Awesome. And what is your investigation modifier?
8.
Nice. And what is your total number of hit points?
65.
Sweet.
Unless I didn't roll, which is a possibility, but I think I rolled.
Jesus.
I can't remember, to be honest.
Jesus H.
I feel like you didn't, Travis.
You feel like I didn't?
No, because I remember when we were talking about this last week, you were like, "Oh, I'll roll next week," because you were trying to go to sleep.
Well, if that's the case, because right now it says my rolled HP is 47 out of an average of 62, so... Okay, so that would be an +5, so 53. That's not how that works. 52.
Math time
70.
with Travis. This is
70.
what the people pay for.
70?
70 is my HP.
Awesome. Now that brings us, Oleg, you go in long rest, you take some time.
And will I have that diamond before... sorry, one last thing. Will I have that diamond before morning time?
Yes, we'll, because Varian, is still the same day, so we're gonna go and do Varians and then
Cool.
sort of resolve,
Us normies gotta wait.
yeah, you normal people gotta wait. The rich
Sorry.
elite, the privileged elite. That's gonna bring us to Varian, which I am going to try not to get sick to my stomach while doing this.
Oh no!
That's not a good preface.
So
Just
Varian,
the sight of Varian is
just
just.
Varian.
Yeah.
So
Carson's gonna talk to us.
So, not long
boy.
after Oleg, maybe a few hours. Oh, no, excuse me, I misspoke that. About half an hour or so after Oleg is questioned, Varian, you were taken back there and questioned, and similar to Oleg, whereas charisma and your way with words may not be the most, silver, but your way of logically laying out the information you tell will help convey the information you would wish to convey and wish to hide. And so, it's not as immediate as Oleg's, because they had expected, first thing in the morning, 9 o'clock, boom, Mr. and Mrs. Madani were going to be there, ready to get their son out. But it's not until mid-afternoon when the Citadel Knight comes in and says, Master Madani, your family is here for you. And so you are taken out. You're, of course, given back anything that you had. And you walk through down the hallway with the beautiful landscapes stretching across Breland. And with your normal passive abilities, you see that in one of the murals, it's all pastoral landscapes. You see that a few have some of the major settlements and cities in the nation of Breland. You can see that there's off in the distance, almost like a silhouette of Sharn. You can see the floating skyway above it. But you can also see the city of Rote, where the House Madani Detectives, not Finders Guild, that's not what it's called. Off the top of my head, oh no. You know what I'm speaking of. The Detectives Guild that is based on Madani dragon marked people.
It's in my notes here somewhere.
House Madani Warning Guild. The Warning Guild. Not Finders Guild. The Warning Guild. You can see Rote where the Warning Guild is situated, bringing to mind all of the discussions about this new internship and things of that nature. You're escorted down to the hallway to the front-facing waiting room where you see your father, Hewis Madani, in all of his sternness, almond-colored skin, straight, kind of graying hair, a very pressed, flat look on his face, and you see your mother there. And I don't know if we've ever described Varian's mother, so Carson, if you want to paint a picture of her.
Cool. So, how old do you think she would be roughly?
Because half-elves age the same as regular elves for the most part, right? Except maybe a few hundred years shy.
I think so.
So we'll say probably around 300, assuming that they'll live to be 500 or so.
Okay. So I imagine she 300. She looks to be about middle-aged. She has kind of the same like olive or caramel skin tone as the rest of the Madani clan. And kind of a kind face, but now with some lines and creases that have come from age. Bright green eyes, hair kind of pulled back into a series of braids with kind of black into some graying hair, a bunch of individual braids pulled back into one like large ponytail, kind of not ostentatious, but somewhat regal robes as draped across her in the Madani colors. As I imagine she stands, I don't know, maybe 5'7", 5'8", so just shy of Varian's height. And I imagine she likely is more of a worried expression on her face as compared to Varian's father's stern consternation.
And so as you emerge in the waiting room, see your mother. She's holding a little canvas bag. It's cookies. You know it's cookies. And she looks at you kind of with like wide eyes. Of course, your father's standing there very stern, and she kind of goes to step forward, throw her arms around you, give you the cookies, and he just kind of holds up his hand to like stop her. And she just kind of shrinks back a little bit, and you know that this sort of a relationship between your mother and father, it's not that he's like, abusive or gaslighting her or anything. He just knows how she will act in a situation like this. So you imagine they probably had a conversation beforehand of like, no,
like,
hold on, like
cookies.
we have to,
cookies.
yeah, we have to be hard on him just a little bit. Come on, like we can't, like he just got arrested. Like we need to air some stuff out first. But Varian, you emerge, your father standing there, your mother waiting, and your father kind of stops. He looks you dead in the eyes.
I meet his gaze for a moment and then look down.
And he also equally meets your gaze for a moment and looks away to one of, like, the front desk person and says, "Thank you so much for your time. Have a good day." And he turns and walks out. And at this moment, seeing feeling the tension in the waiting room at this moment, seeing your parents like this, it looks like we have a flashback. So, Varian.
Oh dear.
Larson, in this moment of tension at like you just got in trouble, what's the flashback what's a memory that is dislodged?
Okay, let me think about this for a moment. I think Varian is a child who learned very early that, you know, again, not through like abuse or anything like that, but just through kind of the strict rigors of being born into the upper crust of Sharn, that it's best not to get in trouble, not to make waves, anything like that, which could bring shame upon and himself or his family. He thinks back, like, again, kind of like a montage is going through Varian's mind, and back of just his father at a young age just telling him, like, everything you do will reflect upon us as a whole, the Madani clan at large. Each of us is part of something greater. Don't be the weak link that breaks the chain. And him just kind of blinking and as like a young child who's been thrust into the weight of this situation, just nodding and thinking back to like I don't know, him at a young age, like playing with his cousins and then like getting a little too rowdy, and then just the sharp sound of Varian, please. And me just kind of retreating inward and just being like, yeah, yes, father. And then like flash to me like getting in like a B or a B minus is whatever the equivalent is on something in school, and having like a stern sit down with his father, who just being like, it's clear you've been spending too much time on leisure. You're going to have to cut back. I've already taken you out of these activities. You're going to need to spend more time on your studies. Remember what I told you. Never the weak link. And me just, yes, of course. And like flashing forward to like going to college age, and him like kind of outwardly showing emotion and in like pride in excess, one of the first times in my life, and him just being like, now you've done well. This is an extensive scholarship. You have worked well for it, and I commend you for that. But I will remind you once again, even though you will be out of this house at Moorgrave for a good deal of time, you will still be representing us, and I will expect you to act accordingly. And Varian just kind of like riding the high of getting into college, it's just being like, of course, and just like countless other little interactions, and of just like, never embarrass the family, never be the weak link, and everything you do reflects on us. And then back into this moment, and him just having like this conflicted sense and of like failure in this drive that has been ingrained into him for so long, but also this new sense of just like investigative drive that has been born since and he began this journey as an investigator and feeling shamed, but also conflicted and a little self-righteous in this moment. Just like I was doing something right. I was trying to stop a killer. I was helping this. Why should I be ashamed? But that clashing and just like this internal turmoil, and back to the present.
Back to the present, you leaving the grand front doors of Andith Tower, walking down to one of the nearby sky coach docks, boarding the family sky coach, and then a 10-minute ride in complete silence, the wind rushing past you. It is painful. It lasts far much longer than 10 minutes. But at one point, your mom, who kind of sat down next to you, you notice that for the first, 2 full minutes of the ride, she was slowly uncinching the little canvas bag.
Just a little bit at a time.
Just a little bit at a time, and then very slowly reaches in, pulls out a single cookie, so it takes about half the ride, eventually hands you one of the cookies.
I very lightly palm it and then just kind of put it in my lap as if to say, thank you, but I can't right now.
And eventually the silent sky coach ride turns in a silent walk to the estate lawn, and then to a silent arrival in the foyer of the estate. And first words that anyone has really spoken to you in the past 20 minutes, your father says, "Go wait in the parlor."
I give a small nod and then just walk off.
Go, and you wait in the parlor for what feels like an eternity.
Not that it's gonna be mechanically necessary, but have I had a long rest?
No.
Okay.
Well, hold on. You arrived at 3 a.m. Yes, you would have had a long rest because this is mid-afternoon by the time they pick you up. And so as you wait in the parlor, I'm going to take a toilet cap break because that's how it works around here. If anyone else needs to, you're more than welcome to.
I will
be right
do
back.
the same.
Venom suit Varian. That sounds incredible.
Is everyone having fun? Watching awkward parental experiences?
I am in
Flashbacks.
physical pain. Honestly. Just sitting here thinking about the times where I have been in a similar situation of I've done something wrong, and it's just it is just that it's almost worse when they don't get mad at you. They're just you feel the disappointment as opposed to the anger, and you're like
I love that over Logi's name in the Twitch stream, in which we're still in, by the way. It says Dungeon Master. I love it. Dungeon Master.
Dungeon Master.
As Oleg, I always feel awkward talking for more than 5 seconds because I'm I'm not supposed to be talking. This isn't.
This isn't my job.
I'm supposed.
This is not what I signed up for.
Yeah. This isn't my charismatic character. I used to only play charismatic characters. I didn't know how to play characters that didn't talk.
Honestly, sometimes it's fun to play characters that don't talk. Because that means that I don't have to worry about having something to say. I can just let everybody else do talking, and I can just be there for the fun stuff.
My unfortunate bit is that I play characters that have plenty to say, but I, Austin, have a hard time speaking up. Sometimes.
I guess it is a lot easier to be the extrovert trying to play an introvert versus an introvert trying to play an extrovert. I don't know.
It also depends on who's in the group, because there's sometimes where it's I'll not talk out of respect for other people because I don't want to like try to talk over other people, but you know, the cycle will get vicious of like I won't want to talk because I don't want to interrupt people, but people are just like on a roll. And then there's some people that's just like it's just difficult to talk, like to get past them, kind of thing, to talk. You know,
Travis
So.
is right here, Austin.
I'm not. Hey, this is more of the first category group where I'm just like I don't want to interrupt anybody, and then I just never talk. Well, I mean, I can't say that I talk a lot, but you know what I mean.
PogChamp. Where is my Pog?
Sharn. Yeah, like it's like if I get like invested in something, it's just like that's the only thing I'm gonna be able to pay attention to. But like it's either I'm super invested or unable to pay attention for more than 5 minutes. There is really no in between. So
Oh, what I missed?
Venom suit variant.
Venom
I
suit
love
variant.
I was just visual vocally responding to chat. That's what I was trying to say.
Okay. Both no attention, hyper focus. Yeah, quarantine's a bitch. But D&D, fun stuff. Right?
Playing
Right,
out immense
Carson?
trauma with your friends.
Yeah, so
That's what we call catharsis, baby.
if you've watched my Shadows over Driftchapel adventure, the session that I did a few weeks back, I'm delving into my roots and I'm doing like more prep physically, like on paper, on index cards, things like that. So I have an index card here for everyone. There's my Oleg one and the bullet notes of what I wanted to do with Oleg. Same with Varian. I have my Varian one there. But whenever I was prepping each person's individual scene, the two people that I had immediately, like, I know what I'm going to do with them. Varian and Cornelius. Cornelius was first. And so they're going to be the worst ones. They're going to be the most fun.
Oh no! Don't say that.
Okay. Varian, you are waiting for quite a while. You imagine your parents are still discussing.
I nibble on my
You
cookie.
nibble on your cookie. After about 15 minutes, one of the manor servants, they're half-elven, they're technically House Madani, but they're not dragon-marked. They're just sort of employed by the house. And you have plenty of other servants who either or are not actual house members. Pretty much if you're employed by the house, you're a house member. And it's just, there's a whole lot of factors that go into what constitutes a house member. But this person is actually half-elf and actually a Madani. And apparently they have been living in Sharn for a long time and have effectively, like, wanted to make themselves at home with the Madani family. So they're almost like a family member. So this servant, and they kind of do a little bit of everything. Let me flip over. Hello? There it is. His name is Nathaniel Madani. And similar to most Madanis, of course, his blood might be a little bit different. He has a little bit lighter skin tone, lighter colored hair. But he comes in and you can tell that he's trying to tiptoe a little bit. He knows what has happened, but he's trying not to treat you any differently. He says, Master Varian, hi. How are you doing today?
As well as can be expected, Nathaniel. How about yourself?
Oh, good as always. A letter came for you just a few moments ago. And he's just kind of holding it, and you see he kind of has like a little excitement to him.
Well, who's it from?
He hands it to you, and it's not marked or anything on the outside of the envelope. He says, they didn't really say their name, but they were wearing a Madani regalia, and I think they're with the guild. I think they're with the Warning Guild.
Oh, thank you so much. I really appreciate it. And I tear off the top, pull out the letter itself, and take a look at it.
So you do so, and it's very it's an informal letter. There's no, wax seal. There's no stamps on it. No specific letterhead. But you quickly skim it and realize that it is from Gavathian de Madani, the member of the Warning Guild that visited you in your advisors. The one that offered you the internship. And the letter says, I know we were going to meet at the start of the week. However, there's been a change of plans and they need me back in Rote. Would you be able to meet at your advisor's office tomorrow? And at this point, because time has gotten a little wibbly wobbly here, excuse me. Tomorrow, she means, or excuse me, meet me on what is the equivalent of Sunday, Sul, the 15th. So just a day earlier. But they need me back in Rote, and if you can, meet in your advisor, me and your advisor, Sul, I'll say 10 a.m. To discuss your internship. Cheers, Gavathian de Madani. And I know there's going to be a lot of role-playing and a lot of just talking back and forth, but Varian, make an investigation check for me.
Okay. I can do that. All right, investigation. I get to add a D8 to that, if I'm not mistaken. Okay. Not a great roll, but still 17.
17. So the best I can give you is just a bit of feeling. Something feels off. Logically, certain things about this letter feel off.
Okay.
The fact that there's no markings, no wax seals, no letterhead, nothing being used on this, that strikes you as odd. The other thing that strikes you as odd is that this letter arrived just in time for you to get home from prison. You've only been home for maybe 10 minutes or so.
Okay. I kind of...
The other thing that might strike you as odd is that you're supposed to meet with the... It might just be a matter of urgency that your advisor would go to his office on a Sunday morning at 10 a.m.
Yeah.
But I mean, it's kind of like a professor being like, yeah, come, we'll have a meeting on Saturday. Like, I guess if it's an emergency, sure, but a little odd.
Seems sus. Yeah, I will... I got a lot going on right now, but I will mentally file that away as just like, follow up on this later. And I will just kind of fold it back up, tuck it in my coat, and nod at Nathaniel.
And he is hesitant to walk away. So, pardon me asking, is you going to work with the Warning Guild? That's amazing.
Possibly. Gavathian and I met only yesterday, I guess, to speak of the possibility. It's a great honor. isn't it? Yes.
Your father's gonna love that.
Yes, I imagine he will.
Well,
Yes, I imagine he will.
would you like some tea, coffee?
Oh God, yes. Can I? I'm trying to think what Varian's coffee order would be.
Yeah,
I think we may have talked about this before, but what were you gonna say?
nothing.
Okay, yeah, I think it'd be like kind of extra. Like, yeah, can I get yeah, cappuccino with how like mint, cinnamon, vanilla, and oat milk, if you can.
Oh, the usual. Yes.
Yes.
And he goes and grabs that, and also puts down effectively an energy drink can, Firebolt, on the label, just in case.
Yeah, cool. I kind of just stealing myself for this. I summon Ori onto my shoulder, and I just kind of hold up the coffee to him, and I'm just like, we're in for it now.
He
You just-
claw
yeah.
takes the hand.
Delicious.
A few, probably another 10, 15 minutes pass, you waiting down in the parlor, and eventually, one of the other servants comes down, and leads you up to your father's study, where he and his mother are sitting, and he is a stern and simple man. Of course, there is Madani stuff everywhere, emblazoned on everything, tapestries, murals. He has
Very
little...
into branding.
Yes, all sorts of branding. You see that he has his own class portraits from Wargrave posted up. Some of your ancestors who have taught at Moorgrave or taught with the Esoteric Order of Arion or have worked with the Warning Guild, just everywhere. So all of these eyes on these portraits of your ancestors looming down in this study, which to him it's always look how great and wonderful they are. To you now, they are quite literally looking down on you, and it's a bit overwhelming. You never really like being
Impressive,
here.
to be sure.
Yes. But as someone who is insightful and very observant, and analytical of his surroundings, you see that the way that your parents have stationed themselves, your father is sitting at his desk, he is, ready to dole out some major punishments. But your mother is sitting on the opposite side of the desk in one of the two chairs positioned there. So, in your observant, analytical nature, she has positioned herself on literally your side of everything.
Oh, okay.
And it kind of, it branches off, and your mind runs. You walk in and you sit down and you feel comforted having your mother sitting next to you, and you're like, wait, why do I feel comfortable? Oh, it's because she's sitting on my side. Oh, because she's actually, then they position themselves this, and so you, and then
I overanalyze the shit out of it.
Yes.
Absolutely.
And you start looking at the way she's sitting, the way your father's sitting, the kind of facial expressions they're making, the way they're looking at each other, the way that they, everything. And then finally, your father says one thing. He gestures out with his hand and says, "Blaine."
How much do you already know?
What we've gathered, that you were actually chasing after and confronting a serial killer, and because of involvement and proximity, you were detained for it. Now, we have been consoled in the fact that you are not on the side of whatever evil force is at work, but Explain your side of it. Why? What makes you think you could chase after some notorious killer that is threatening the house's terrorist attack, locked off ward?
Somebody has to.
There are people for that. Sharn
Yes.
Watch, the King's Citadel.
Well, it's fairly apparent that the King's Citadel was unaware of connections between these crimes up until last night. Whereas, in the matter of several days, my companions and I managed to piece together a small mountain of evidence. As for the Sharn Watch, we have reason to believe they may, or certain elements may, in part, be in on it, so to speak, or at least being paid off. Look, Father, somebody very important asked us to ask me and my companions to look into this, and I'll admit, it went farther than originally anticipated, but we are uniquely situated to be able to solve this case and prevent more deaths, more anti-Dragon Mark sentiment, and I think that's a good thing, don't you?
He holds up his hand for a moment and kind of looks away. Yes, that is a good thing. That's why we work so hard to get you into Morgrave, to get... I understand that this internship has led you to this. Might be your advisor's fault. You need to be speaking to him sometime soon. But going to the university would set you up for success to eventually go on and either go to the esoteric order and practice some more magic, or if you're really in love with this investigative occupation, going and go to the Warning Guild, then you could really be saving plenty of lives with that. But your education has to come first, and if you're getting arrested or getting killed, then it's all for naught, and I don't want your education to be thrown away and you not be a graduate and you end up working like one of those filthy PIs down in the lower city. You have a unique opportunity that most don't get.
Am I not using that opportunity? Do you know the cases I've solved, the criminals I've helped to bring down? Do you know how I've grown as a wizard and an investigator since I started on this path, I don't think anything's going to waste, and I can't particularly defend myself against the arrest. It happened. It was essentially a fluke. But I'm nothing is being wasted.
How many flukes until you end up like your cousin Roman? Running off the sovereign knows where, doing God's knows what, and
Everybody.
slams his elbow on the table and says, and rumor has it that he's come back to Sharn begging for the family to take him back.
Yes, I will.
Everybody has a cousin Roman. Everybody has one of those.
Oh my fucking god.
Yeah, well, I can't. Wait.
Yeah, Varian
Woo.
looks up. And she's like, it would take a lot for that to. You remember the tentacle thing, right?
We all remember the tentacle thing.
That. And your mom's picking up. She's like, "Yeah, that was really weird. I don't." And there's like a moment of like, you all mutually kind of like hone in on Roman. Like, yeah, that guy.
Yeah. It's like, I'm not going to turn into Roman Dumadoni.
Gotta have some levity in all this.
Absolutely.
And at this point, your mom reaches over, puts a hand on your hand. Because I think what Father and I have concluded on is that work you're doing at Moorgrave and your internship is admirable. You are doing lots of good. We just worry for your safety. If it is true, the rumors we've heard, you know how Candace Galland is down the street. She will spread a rumor like
Yes, Mother. Yes. I'm
this
well aware.
house killer nonsense is true. They're worried about you running out there, chasing after them.
I clasp her hands in mine. I just go, Mother, I love you. I know you know that. But there are mothers out there who loved their children who have died by this person's hand. And if there's anything I can do with the powers gifted to me by the gods, the cosmos, whatever you want to call it, it feels like anyone else to die feels like I will have murdered them myself if I don't try to prevent it. I'm powerful. do you know the kind of magics I'm able to wield now? Not to speak of my companions. It's dangerous. But even the King's Citadel, they're moving too slow. Bureaucracy and regulations and whatnot. Somebody else is going to die, and likely not just one person. This person works in threes. If we don't stop them now, there will be 3 more deaths soon, and then another 3, and then another 3, on and on. And you saw what happened in what was the district where the riot happened the other day?
High Walls.
Yeah, you. Do you know what happened in High Walls? I look back and forth with my mom and dad.
And
I'm just
they both know, but it's one of those things where it's like a tragedy happened, and so they're very hesitant to speak on just kind of like a...
The perpetrator there? I heard him speak. He's not the house killer, but he was inspired by them. This person is going to keep on killing and keep on inspiring copycats until it's not just a few dragon marked people we're talking about, but the entirety of the dragon marked houses of Sharn. If I can do something about it, I feel like I need to.
Varian.
Yeah.
We'll make a persuasion check with advantage.
Okay, we'll see. Ooh, okay. Well, the second one was a natural 1, so I'm not going to go with that. I'm going to go with the 18.
Nice. Is that the total 18, or is that 18 on die? Or both?
A total of 18.
Total of 18.
You know what? No, I'm going to use one of my portent rolls. That's a nat 20.
You had a nat 20 portent roll?
I did.
What
I
a
might as well use it now.
What a time to use it. Might as well use it now. With your passive perception, you notice that as you're looking back and forth, your father was sitting there very stoically. But about halfway through your spiel, he started to fidget a little bit and twisting a ring that he has on his finger. And you notice he started just getting a little bit more tense.
Mm-hmm.
And very abruptly as you finish, your father stands up, scoots back his chair. He walks around to the other side of the desk. He takes a ring off of his finger and holds it out to put it into your hand.
I, with kind of genuine surprise, just kind of place my hand out.
And he drops the ring into your hand, and you've seen him wear it for as long as you can remember. It's really nothing special looking. It's kind of a tarnished silver ring. Places in your hand. Kind of puts his hands behind his back, looks at you and says, "Can't wait to hear about your internship." And nods to you and puts a fairly firm handshake or hand on your shoulder in a loving way.
I just kind of gulp and nod at him, with like, again, surprise is, but kind of a mixture of relief and almost elation, and very suppressed elation. But I'm just like, thank you.
Maybe it's less of an internship now, but more of a vocation. And he kind of just trails off and eventually just kind of nods his head and leaves his study. You and your mother sitting there, and she looks just as in shock as you feel. And you both kind of look down at the ring, and she says, I never thought I would see him take that off. That's your father's ring of protection that he's worn, oh gosh, ever since we met in college.
I literally never seen him not wear it.
He's never really spoken about where he got it from, but yeah, you're right, he's never... And she just looks at you in disbelief, just like... Yeah.
I kind of regard it, and then I slip it on my ring finger.
Is there anything else you would like to at least say to your mother, or anything else you would like to do during this downtime for the rest of the day?
I hug my mother and just repeat it, that I love her and that I'm gonna be careful and whatnot. And then yeah, I will excuse myself and I guess go get some real food for me. I mean, or he's technically a fey creature, but I'm sure he likes eating, even if he doesn't need to. So
Yeah.
I'll get him some stuff, and we'll just kind of go back to our room, and I'll just kind of rock back in my chair, just kind of thinking to myself, like, that actually worked.
Yup.
What the fuck?
And I like to think that your port and roll, like, you kind of had this thought, like, as you were in jail, of like, man, wouldn't it just be good if I could tell my parents the truth and they believed me?
Yeah.
And then you actuated it later that day. Actualized it.
Yeah. And I guess at some point I might try to contact through like sending maybe Oleg to see if he knows what happened to the rest of them, if they need bail. If I can do anything to help in that. I only have like a little over 100 gold in my personal coffers, but I'd be willing to throw it towards bail money.
Sure.
Easy.
Okay, noted. Oleg, also that afternoon, your Aunt Fulcia comes back. She has acquired a diamond worth 300 gold pieces for you. And she had acquired the gold to enough to bail out one person for the moment. Again, because of the way the Kundarak funds kind of work, there has to be sort of a reason, and bailing just some random person out of jail is usually not good enough of a reason, so your cousin kind of had to pull a few strings, so you're able to at least get the one person out of jail, and you mentioned Pike.
Okay, and what happened with the extra 146 gold that I gave her? And did she give it back to me?
She gives you back 140 gold. She had to grease a few palms.
Okay, that sounds fine. I'm just making sure I didn't just money didn't disappear.
But you also get contacted.
You said, how about that change, Auntie?
That change, right? You get contacted by Varian about helping bail out some people, and similarly, Varian, while your father's probably not the person to ask about this, because he'd be like, no, they're adults, they can, deal with it. your mom's a little bit more flexible, so she sees that if she can go grease a few palms, pull a few strings at the Kundarak Bank to get some money out of the Madani accounts. But that probably won't be, until the next day to potentially bail them out.
Okay, so how much gold do you have actually, Varian? Sorry.
Okay, on me, I have 102 gold and 13 silver.
Great. So I have 140, so we have a little bit.
But as far as you know, at least the next day, your mom could probably get another one person out.
Cool.
Because of the directions given, that evening, Spike. As we have previously discussed, Spike spends most of his time in the cell in his sentry's rest, just in a powered-off standby state, not responding to any prompts given to him. Is that still correct?
Yes. As soon as they ask me a question, I just say, "Fuck you," and I do this, and I shut down in Sentry's Rest in this state.
So for most of the day, you're in a sentry's rest state. You can still hear and see as normal. Spike, you'll make a charisma saving throw for me.
Saving throw. Good lord. Okay. What is 14 plus 8?
22.
22.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you're sitting there in your standby state, looking at the very, very, very tired Dark Lantern Usid. You power off and you hear her go, "Son of a bitch." Anything about that? I mean, we would have to do some. And she's speaking to, like, obviously, like, some other agent or something. She says, "You could try some land. I don't know, some charm stuff. I don't know if that would work." And so you could hear every word they're saying. And almost like a passenger in your own senses, your fingers curl back in, hands fold into your lap, your eyes flick back on and everything. And you hear not your voice, but the voice of Romulus out loud and also simultaneously in your head and say, "Sorry about that, just a little malfunction there. Is there anything I can help you with?" And then as he's sort of getting at that last statement, you like launch back into your own senses and identity and cut him off as he took control for a moment.
What the? System update. Don't even worry about it. Back to what the Sam hell? I go back to rest.
And you do that, and you have they're silent for like a minute, and they're like, "All right, I don't know what the fuck that was. That was what is going on?" He's just a warforged, right? Like, just a soldier. Yeah, okay. He's a bounty hunter down from. Okay, I really don't know what that was. Okay, anyway, and they kind of go about their business, and then you hear Romulus in your head again and say, "Spike, sorry about that. I didn't really know I could do that. I just thought, withholding too much information. I mean, there's a lot at stake here, man. Right?
Can I respond to him?
Yeah, you do it like telepathically inward.
Listen, partner, we've been riding around together for a while now, but you do not, under any circumstance, take control of me. All right? Then that's going to be strike one, mister. All right? Or I will have Oleg remove you. Withholding information. Do you know? Listen, we may be withholding information, but also if we say the wrong thing, we can be in even deeper trouble.
No saving throw check needed, but he doesn't respond. Responds in a different way. You experience not necessarily a dream, not necessarily vision, but a memory. Not necessarily like your own memory, but it feels like your own. You feel yourself come out of Century's Rest. You're sitting in a chair just like you are now, except this one you are not leather strapped down to a chair, but your Warforged arm is literally bolted through the chair arm. Each arm is. And you try to move your feet, and each foot is bolted into the ground, torn through the metal. And even though you know as Spike, you have never experienced this before, you think you're experiencing it again? You don't know exactly what's happening, but it feels all too real, and you start to struggle against these pretty ironclad restraints. And you hear a voice kind of echoing out behind you. It says, All right, Romulus, tell us what you know, man. I mean, gotta have seen something. You're prowling around all the time. I know how you are. I've heard the word on the street, man. Come on. And you feel a wham, a massive metal blunt object hit the back of your head. And you eventually regain your senses, and you hear that voice again, and it says, we can keep you down here for as long as we like. We know you're good for it. We don't have to feed you, don't have to give you water, you don't have to sleep. You're the best prisoner ever. So just tell us what we need to know. We know you don't want to be down here. Come on, man. And Spike, if you will make an intelligence or investigation check for me.
Okay. That's a 16.
The voice, the tone of voice is familiar to you. And it takes a few, clicks in the right place. It sounds like a goblin speaking. It has that higher timbre, that roughness, the bit of accent from Drome. It's a goblin. And you start piecing out like, okay, Kyber's Gate, the Dask, I mean, there are goblins all over the city, but you don't recognize the voice, just that it's a goblin in nature. One last time it says, Romulus, I hate to do this, but I gotta put my skills to use. And you see a pair of pliers kind of come out from your field of vision, grab one of your fingers, and saw through it and cut it off. It hurts, but after a moment, you see the pair of pliers stick back into your field of vision again, and your metal finger has been molded and reformed into a little metal crane. And it's set on the back of your hand. Yeah! That's your fucking fingers, now it'll be to your whole person! And then a massive whack to the back of the head jolts you back out of your Century's Rest in this interrogation room. You look down at your arm, and it's your hand, but you know that hand that had the ka-chunk, that has Romulus in it, was the same hand that had the finger removed. And you look down, and Romulus is silent. You have this sort of vision. And Dark Lantern Usad said, so, I just have a few questions. Just kind of about I mean, practice your bounty hunter, correct?
I slam both my hands on a table. What are you doing to me? Stop it! And I start shouting like a madman.
She jolts back, readies herself. The two knights standing in the corner of the room ready themselves, and the spellcaster casting that, zone truth detect, all that stuff, grabbed for everything. And Dark Lantern says, we're not doing anything yet. We just have a few questions for you. Everything all right? Are we good? Do you need anything? Do you want to take a break?
You're killing me.
We're
You're
not
killing
doing
me.
Anything at all? Nothing at all. Nothing at all. Just, all right. What?
Don't touch me. Don't touch me.
Of course. Yep. Of course. Not touching. Now, do you need to take a break? Need to have a
Yes.
Okay, all right. Fine. And you see that one of the knights starts to fight against that and say, no, ma'am, we have to go. She's no. Needs a break. We'll give him a break. He's a person too, just like all of us. He needs rest. Give him some rest. And without touching you, they just kind of gesture. One of the knights does reach for your arm to guide you out, and of course you can push against them and they release and just guide you. But they slowly lead you back to your cell, believe you, and go on to question someone else, giving you a moment of rest and privacy.
They hold my arm as I'm talking to him, as I'm talking to Romulus, and I'm like, what is happening? What was that? What is going on?
And since all of your cells are kind of connected, not necessarily connected, but you have pretty good view, Donovan and Cornelius, when Spike returns pretty early, eventually you hear him kind of mumbling to himself. You also notice that all of his metal plating is rusted over. And it was not like that before. And so Spike, you start holding yourself at the elbow, interrogating Romulus.
I look at Cornelius if I have an eye on him, and I just go.
Honestly, at this point, I probably have had a mind link with you this whole time, so just say shit to each other and each other.
I imagine you're probably playing some kind of game of I Spy.
I'm thinking
with my
of.
little
I'm
eye.
thinking of. Yeah, I'm thinking of something white. It's the cell.
It's the cell.
There's nothing else.
Jonathan, I'm in your head. I know what you're thinking.
Yeah. So Spike, you begin interrogating Romulus, and go ahead and make me a charisma skill check of your choice.
Oh, my choice.
Your choice: persuasion, intimidation, something. And while you decide, I'm going
Let's
to
do
go toilet
intimidation.
cat so freaking fast.
Again?
Mind your business.
No.
Blinding
I do what I
speed.
want.
You little piss baby.
Nobody
That's
like
the thing.
that.
That's the thing we said live. I remember.
Can we get some piss babies in the chat, please?
No,
Next one up.
we can
Babies.
toilet cat though.
Toilet cat is wholesome. Piss baby is
He's
vile.
not.
That's very vile, yes.
Toilet cat and piss babies are mortal enemies as they fight over the toilet.
Yeah,
Yeah.
now I gotta pee. All right, I'll be back.
From
Alright.
the primordium arose the the dichotomous beings of the celestial. You have on the side of light and all that is good, toilet cat, and on the side of the roiling evil of the primordium, piss baby.
Piss baby.
Their battle is eternal, and one day they will swallow all that exists.
Mm-hmm.
That's a phrase that people use, yeah.
Yeah. I'm working on my world building right now, so this is
Yeah! No bush, no wavy with piss baby in the chat. Hell yeah!
Fushinoeve
Don't feed this man.
has chosen the side of darkness.
I don't know what I just missed, but
Is it the side of darkness or is the side of real truth?
Dark
Uh,
Has to be revealed.
Yeah, yet to be revealed. So Spike, what skill check did you make and what'd you get?
Intimidation, dirty 20.
Dirty 20.
Dude, either of them see me like screaming at my arm.
Are you actually screaming, or are you like mumble like, you know, mom in church, like, what did I tell you? Like,
Yeah,
God,
I'll do
dude.
that, but I'm still like holding my
Yeah.
arm.
So clearly Spike's going through some shit right now. And Romulus responds, and you're kind of snapping at him. He says, "All right, okay. That was all new to me too, and I'm really sorry about all that. Apparently, we're more connected than I guess we both thought. And I'm beginning to think, I'm getting the feeling that I would." And you like snap at him again, like, "What? Come on!" Says, I think I was a Warforged too. Or at least used to be. I don't know what that means. I don't know why that might be important, or why it matters now. But I think so. I mean, right?
Well, I mean, maybe I'm not sure. I mean, it's possible if you were broken down and put in the different pieces, then
Oh my god, that's fucked
Yeah.
up. Right? Right?
It is fucked up. Do you know that little goblin fella?
I mean, he was familiar. That sounded familiar. Wait, that wasn't something that happened to you?
It wasn't nothing that happened. That's not gonna happen to me. I'd blast a boy to 10.2 before he tried to cut off my finger.
Yeah, that all tracks. Wait, so did that happen to me then?
Well, partner, there's only two of us here, and it ain't happening to me, so I guess it happened to you. Unless there's a secret third person that's in my arm.
Oh shit.
Is there a secret third person that's in my arm?
Oh god.
Right.
Hold on. Hello? And you hear, and then you hear of like a door slamming. And then Romulus says, "I'm just kidding. I've just been practicing my sound effects. There's no one else in here. I can't go anywhere. I'm just a voice right now. But seriously, what? Or what? So wait, am I an entire Warforged, or am I just an arm? Or am I just an extension of? No, that doesn't make sense.
I don't really know, but we gotta get out of here.
Okay, and I shouldn't.
There's a lot of pressure going on.
And I shouldn't take control of you anymore. That's a no.
No,
Not
under
never,
any circumstance,
Any
never.
circumstances.
You do not take over me.
Okay, all right. No circumstances. Not. 'Cause I mean,
Okay.
imagine how much you could accomplish if I could do stuff while you slept. Well, I guess it's still the same body, so I guess you still have to like rest.
I'm still gonna be exhausted in the morning. I mean, well, now wait a minute. Now, if I'm getting, would you be? Now, if I get hurt, well, no, it's still me. It's still me.
So you. So wait. Okay. Wait.
But would you feel the pain and then I just like, or do I feel like the same? Do we feel the same pain?
Is
I
it-
don't know.
Huh. We got a lot to figure. Yeah, we need to get the fuck out of here.
We need to get out. Of
And
here.
serendipitously, one of these Citadel Knights steps through the lead door and says, holds up a slip of paper, says, "All right." It leans his head out the door. Cornelius, you can hear him say, like, "All right, this can't be real." What? No, that's not his real name. No, it's not. That can't be. He leans back in, holds up a piece of paper and says, "Spike, the Iron Defender, the bounty hunter of Lower Dura, the soldier of all ages.
Mm-hmm.
No, that you and points to you, Spices. You're built.
I think you forgot gunslinger extraordinaire, but I'll forgive you this time. All right.
All right. And he leads you out. You're given all of your stuff back, bike, equipment, anything. Besides stuff that may have been left at Oleg's. And you're taken into the waiting room. You see all the beautiful landscapes, the carpet. It's nice in this part. But you see now that it's evening, about 4 or 5 o'clock or so, and the front desk person says, the Kundrak family paid for your bail, so you owe them some thanks. I assume, Oleg, would you leave some kind of note as well whenever he's about to be like, hey, come by the house or anything?
Yeah, it would probably say something like, hey, you owe me one. I get a new book. And meet me at my house.
So Spike, you get a 3 bullet point note that says, you owe me one, get a new book, come meet me at my house, from Oleg.
My life debt. I'll work it out. And so I immediately, I immediately get out my hover bike and zoom to Oleg's house.
I like it. You zoom over to Oleg's house. When you enter into the yard, like you've probably done a few times, it strikes you as odd that there are a lot of extra people here than normal. Spike, make an intelligence saving throw.
Saving throw? Am I about to die? 15.
Is he within view of me?
No, he's like outside.
Okay.
You're in your house. Spike, as you're arriving in the evening, the sun's beginning to set. There are a lot of people lounging around outside, drinking, smoking, having conversation, whatever else.
What?
With a 15, there's a thought that crosses your mind of like, oh, they must be friends of Oleg. And then it hits you, and you're like, no, Oleg doesn't have friends. Like, he doesn't make friends. He doesn't invite people over. Like, that's not his thing. But these people, you can just tell by their body language, the way that they're like just lounging around and talking, they're very comfortable, that they're at home, they're living here, and that's odd. That is not right. You were here literally last night and none of these people were here. And a couple of them like wave, like, hey, how's it going?
Howdy. I tip my hat at him.
Ah, you here for dinner? We got some good lamb tonight.
Don't need food to survive, but thank you anyways. Trying to see Oleg.
Oh yeah, he's inside.
All right, and your name?
Let me roll up that portly human's name. They're not a dragon-marked individual. The portly human man, who basically is just like a circle with legs, is named Solomon Redgate. And he stands up businessman-like, but clearly not dressed like a businessman. Shakes your hand and says, Solomon Redgate, nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Solomon.
Friend of old, Spike, is it, right?
Insight check. Can I insight check him?
Absolutely, go for it.
That's a nat 20. I don't know if it counts or matters, but that plus 3, 23.
He introduces himself and says, Spike, right? And you kind of narrow your eyes at him, and he sort of takes that as like I'm not being friendly enough. And he's like, yeah, Spike, the Iron Hunter, Bounty Hunter in Lower Dura. You have a replacement arm that used to be a gun and you shoot a lot of blasts out of it and a bunch of bullets, and Oleg really likes you and he did surgery on you and all sorts of, and starts listing off these weird facts that no one really should know, and then kind of snaps out of him and is like, yeah, Oleg's told us all about you. Yeah. But during that time, it's like his exterior took a break and then his interior went to work and just started like rattling off shit, like going through a database.
I aggressively grab his hand to get him to stop, and I said, "Well, nice to meet you. I'm gonna have a talk to Oleg about his loose lips. All right, now I'm gonna go inside."
You know him. That's not Oleg. But you make your way inside. Some of his servants that you've probably met before mention, Oleg, you're probably sleeping or in your workshop doing something, directed to one another.
At 3 p.m., I'll be sleeping?
Well, you started taking a long rest at like 7 a.m.
Oh, yeah.
Go ahead and just start shouting at Oleg.
I come out with my gun even though I know it's him. Like, hey, it is nice to see you. I give you money and you yell at me. Thanks for this.
Yeah. Well, one, thank you for getting me out. I owe a lot to you. I'm going to finish off that list. One, how much did it cost you?
It costs me about 500 gold.
All right. I'll give you 500 gold.
Cool. This is
Yes.
really nice.
I had 542, and I'm like,
And I
Goodbye.
hold on to the gold and go. I guess family will. I need to pay back family, so I kind of put it away, and I start like walking you around and saying like, "Do you need?" And I start like handing out the money that people paid me back for my stuff.
And surprisingly, Spike, as you're walking around, Oleg's like, "Ah, yes, here's Christopher, here's Badger," and introducing you to all of these apparent strangers that you've never seen in his house, but Oleg is being fairly familiar and, you know, knows who they are, introduces them like nothing's out of the ordinary.
Oleg, is there a place where we could talk in private?
Why do we need to? These people bailed me out of jail. I don't think that there can be any more private, or, like, well, they're family.
Oleg, come with me to the bathroom.
It's my home.
I grab your hand. I'm like, I gotta use it. Let's go.
This must be a Warforged thing. I don't think we talked about this, didn't we? About Warforged going bathroom.
Yep.
Sure. Okay.
We sure did.
I guess it's a good time to learn.
All right.
It's my first time. I need help.
And I'm like, okay, first of all, so we get to the bathroom, make sure that no one else is in there or whatever.
Yep.
You know, one, Oleg, are you all right? Are you feeling good?
Yeah. I mean, other than being woken up in the middle of the day by you, I feel fine. Yes,
Okay,
I did get this. By the way, I got this diamond. It's very useful.
You got a diamond? Is that like a rich people think that you just get diamonds on a Tuesday? All right, whatever.
You said rich person. You just gave me more gold than I have at the current moment. But
That was all the money I had in my entire life. So
don't you have like a couch? Don't you have something that you should be using this for? I don't know. Like, get another couch.
I don't need another couch, and it's not a couch. It's a chair.
A chair. I'm sorry.
That's it.
It's been a while.
First of all, do you know Solomon?
Yes, of course I know Solomon.
Why did you tell Solomon about my arm?
He's known about your arm. What do you mean? They've lived in my home. You stayed here the other day.
But that doesn't mean that they know what goes on with my arm and that I blast projectiles out of it.
They know everything.
They know everything?
I mean, they're family.
Yeah, Oleg, they know everything.
Can I insight check Oleg?
Absolutely.
That doesn't make any sense. 18.
Oleg has sort of a an uncharacteristic, innocent look in his eye. Like you mentioned, like, you know, these people and stuff. And he's like, yeah, of course they're family. Like, why wouldn't they know everything and all sorts of stuff? And there's just this unsettling, glassy, unfazed look about Oleg whenever he's speaking about these people. It's just not. It's not a normal look Oleg carries.
Can I sense that there's like anything magical going on with them, or?
Unless you want to cast something.
Oh gosh, what can my Warforged do? Well, 2 spell slots cast.
Yeah, I was like, all right, Warlock.
Yeah. Not unless I want to kill him. There's nothing really I can do right now.
Yo, I would pay money to see.
Death solves a lot of crap.
I would pay money to see Oleg and Spike get in a gunfight in a bathroom. 2 feet from each other.
Just it's like that. What's that fucking? Oh, it's that bit from Boondocks where they're like shooting at each other point blank, and then they stop, and both of them are completely unharmed, and it's like, all right, cool,
We're good.
We're good.
Look at Oleg. I'm just like, I don't know what's going on, but all I know is we need to get the rest of the gang out.
Sure. I mean, if it makes you feel better, I can cast, I don't know, like restoration on myself or something. Like, I don't know. Do you want to see if I'm poisoned? Is that what you're asking about? Like, I'm a little bit.
I don't know. You're just acting weird. You're acting weird.
I don't.
Just shoot something. Shoot something. Tell me that. Shoot something. Let me know that you're alright.
Sure. And I point a gun at him, and then shoot the floor beside him.
Okay.
Of course, it's super loud in the bathroom, but you know he does it.
Answer the question, Ryan. Answer the question, Ryan.
I don't know. You just ain't got the same pizzazz that you used to have.
I do find it a little odd. I feel as though I'm like I don't want these people in my home, but at the same time I want these people in my home because of the fame. I don't know. I asked them if they were gonna.
People here.
I asked them if they were gonna leave, and they left. So, it feels though it's odd that I haven't killed them yet, but there's still time. They're paid now, so we're square, I suppose.
Do you? Okay. Well, I guess. Do you know who else is in there?
Was in where? In the jail?
In jail.
I mean, you were.
Would I have known if Varian left?
Yeah, you would have seen Varian leave.
Oh,
so
okay.
now it'd just be
Whatever.
Donovan and Cornelius, and yeah. And
Alright,
I guess Oleg, between Varian sending you a few messages over down to Golden Manticore's state, you can relay to Spike that the House Madani will be paying for another person to be out sometime within the next day or so.
Well, you know, instead of paying back these schmucks, because this would be before that, I guess, I would say, you know, I can always get back that money, and I can always, well, I guess this is after that, and we can go bail out another person. There's some things supposed to be paid off in the next couple of days, but I know that Donovan and Donovan has just like $1, so I think you know.
Well,
Maybe
what
he
about
might be-
Squinch? Cornelius got a. I mean, is that like his kid? I don't know how that works, y'all.
I don't feel like it's possible. We'll have to call him up and ask him next time. Cornelius might need help as well. I don't know. We have known Cornelius longer, and I'm still not sure if I want to kill Donovan. So
Well, which one do you want to break out? That's the other thing. We could also break them out. We got our magic.
we could. Shouldn't Donovan have some kind of connections?
I don't know. I don't know what connections a reporter would have.
I don't
like a
know.
camera guy or something. I don't know.
You know about as much as I do.
God damn it.
And I'll say, well, why don't we break out Cornelius? I suppose we should probably figure it out, or just, you know, ask around and see, because my family is going to break out another person soon, so we can break out Cornelius and with
I don't
with the
think you
money
should
that
phrase that as breaking out.
Yeah, I
Alright.
love that Oleg refers to posting bail as breaking out.
It's fine. We could go do that, I suppose. So I go. If I haven't given away the money, if I have given away the money, then I'll be like, I'll pay you back again. My family still owes you.
We'll say that you gave away a little bit for the few people who were around that Spike pulled you into a bathroom.
Okay, cool.
And as you exit, and if you want to recollect the money, you can to bail out someone else.
Yeah.
Oh, like they're your family, so you say, sorry, can I just get that back? They're like, yeah, of course. Spike, make an insight check for me.
Who are you people? 21.
When Oleg comes out, to you, Oleg, they're your family, you get the money back, and everything's hunky-dory. Spike, you notice that whenever Oleg says, can I just get that money back? That they almost, like, in reverence, are like, oh, yes, of course, and dig in and almost, like, avert their gaze from Oleg as they hand the money back. It's a very strange-looking gesture from them.
Is Oleg a cult leader now?
I'm just looking, I'm like,
But Oleg
I don't
thinks
know if
something of
this
it.
is like is this like a rich person thing? I don't know. What's going on up here.
Probably. We
Um,
wouldn't know.
And so...
Well,
Oh, anything else?
I was gonna say, let's go free Cornelius.
Yep. And I will contact my aunt and ask how long is it going to take to get the last bit of bail for Donovan.
She already did the Kundarak part.
Yes, and then there was the like scraping of money trying to get like the last little bit, right?
Yeah. So you imagine maybe another day, which is about Variant's timeline as well.
Oh, okay.
To get together the last little bit the following day.
Okay.
Or the next morning, roughly.
I'm learning to play the harmonica in prison.
In prison for one day, learns how to play harmonica.
On the way in, they're just like, okay, here's your identification card.
Here's your slip-on
Here's your
shoes.
complimentary harmonica.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
can I lobby for like a mandolin so we can start like a bluegrass
Oh,
band in prison?
Prison bluegrass band.
Here's your tin cup to clink against the bars.
This is literally. I feel as though this is just Logan's way of getting his players broke again.
It's really not.
We're already
Yeah, I'll
broke!
say you didn't have money to begin with. Like that's
true.
My
I've had
my only
63
request
gold
for
months.
my only request for prison is, can I have a rubber band ball to like throw against the wall?
Well, yeah, I'm gonna say the only reason why I've gotten by is because I don't think I've really spent money since we started playing. So I'm just like I've been
Since I
holding on
joined,
to
we
it.
haven't gotten any money,
yeah.
so I've had no money
That's
this
true.
whole time.
The 500 gold that we got, I think you gave me, was just from that one case. I had
Mhm.
164 gold from
Oh.
something else.
Well, once you actually started an investigation agency, you kind of had to fund it as well, and on top of paying for your own resources and paying for your own supplies and things, it kind of just pays itself off, keeping yourself afloat. But in the meantime, that night, Oleg, Spike, you return to Andith Tower. But in the meantime, Cornelius, I imagine at some point you would also try and get a bit of rest after arriving in Andith Tower.
Yeah.
When you do and you finally doze off, wake up. But you're not laying down on your cot as you were. You are laying face down on your desk in your office in Lower Dura. And you jolt awake. There's a bit of faint light coming in through the windows. Paper scattered everywhere. Squinch isn't in sight. And it kind of takes a minute for your eyes to adjust, and then you look down on your desk. See a shot glass full of shimmering, oily-looking liquid.
Oh, not again. And so I'm just looking at it, and I just stare at it for a little bit, just like 30 seconds or so, and I audibly say, I don't know who the fuck keeps doing this to me, and I don't know why, and I don't know what they want, but I don't know what's gonna happen if I don't do this, and I think that might be worse. And I grab the shot glass,
Well,
and I just...
The moment that you're sitting there and watching and thinking to yourself, thinking out loud, and you go to reach out your hand, and you hear against the door to your office, your apartment, and you look up and you see just a kind of vague humanoid silhouette against the frosted glass.
Just a second, and I take the shot glass, I open a drawer, and I set it in it and shut it, and I get up and just hang on, just chill for a second, Jesus, and I unlock the door and I open it, kind of like peek out a little bit and go, I'm sorry, can I help you? Are you all right?
You go to open the door, and you know your door, it opens inward. The door is boom, yanked forward, and it pulls you out through the doorway into a busy street in Sharn. Everything's kind of monochromatic. The people around you don't have very many features. There's no one standing there, but you're now just standing in one of the streets, the towers raising up around you. But you recognize the street. It's in Lower Dura. It's right around the corner of your apartment. You can see familiar buildings and storefronts. But none of the people, look familiar. And you hear the normal street noises, people walking, people chatting. But then something else sits on the air for a minute. And you just have this feeling of, someone's behind me. You turn around.
It's a jump scare, Austin. Don't do it.
It's like a quick turn, and as I'm turning, the hand's going into the coat, reaching for the holster underneath my arm.
And you glance around, and you're in an entirely different street of Sharn. But you recognize it. You see the upper districts. You see the Aurora Gallery off to the side. You see all these fancy upper city shops. You see the clothing shop where you all got fancy get-ups for the Aurora Gallery event. You once more just crowds of faceless people. And you hear again coming from behind you.
I go to turn around, but as I do so, I say, all right, I don't know who the fuck you are, but what do you want? And I just rapidly turn around this time. I start pulling the gun out of my coat.
Mm-hmm. You do. And now you're in the Stone Yard. Lower area of the city, you see the Hrajak field. And you glance in one way, you see the entry to Little Barovia. You're looking around at all places you've visited before. And you hear behind you again.
Get out of my head. And I turn around again.
You turn around again and you see a cloaked figure standing there. Don't recognize the garb. You can't really see their face. They're just kind of walking, hands in pockets, slowly toward you, whistling that little tune. But then you hear it from behind you, and you get that feeling again of Someone's behind me. Something's behind me. Do you turn around?
The cloaked figure is still walking to me in front
Very
of me?
slowly, but never making any progress.
I'm gonna kind of do that thing where it's like you kind of turn a little bit and you're keeping your eyes in both directions kind of thing, where you're like one eye's looking over your shoulder while you're keeping the other thing in the peripheral.
Mhm.
I'm not gonna turn away from the cloaked figure completely.
You kind of turn, glance out of the corner of your eye, and you see that behind you is another cloaked figure. Completely different garb, completely different build, but still whistling that same tune. And then you hear a third one appear. This time behind you, essentially filling out a third cardinal direction. And then you see one of the faceless figures in the crowd walking along the street step out from the crowd, and it's another hooded figure. Again, completely different build, completely different clothing, whistling that tune, and then another, and then another. And then you keep glancing around, feeling yourself getting surrounded by multitude of cloaked figures whistling that same little tune. But something about it's familiar. You've heard that before.
And so there's like a bunch of them now, right? They're all kind of like appearing around me.
Mhm.
I'm going at this point Cornelius will yell it, like angrily scream it out, get out of my head, and cast Psychic Wave.
Okay. So you whoosh, all of these shadowy, cloaked figures whistling this tune scatter to the winds. You still hear that tune, and every time you blink and close your eyes or turn any direction, your surroundings change. You're back outside the Aurora Gallery. You're in the Aurora Gallery. You're in the Stoneyard. You're in Little Barovia. You're grabbing food at one of those little food stands. You're flying over to the district of Highwalls. You're flying back over to Oleg. You're in the Mithril Tower. You're revisiting all of these places you've been to in the past day or two. And all the while, that whistling tune is still dancing and echoing around. I would like you, Cornelius, to make just an intelligence or wisdom.
Oh, cool. It'll be the same either way. This one. That is a 16. It's almost a 22, but I missed.
You are looking around. Every time you turn, your surroundings change. You're still surrounded by just a crowd of people in Sharn. And then you hear the deafening roar of a dragon. And you glance over your shoulder, and you see an illusory dragon on the front of a tavern. Glance to your side and see ethereal, illusory outlines of Oleg and Varian, Spike. You look up at this tavern. You've been there before. It's in the Dragon Eyes district. It was the first bar you ever went to as a group of investigators.
Shit.
And you look up, and the door is open, and from within you can hear
What are the ethereal figures of Oleg and Varian and Spike doing?
you can kind of hear one of them say, "We have some time to kill before we need to go meet the client at the Cog Carnival, so might as well pop in here, grab a drink."
They're just talking to each other.
And it just starts coming
I
back
will
to you.
just-
You've been here. You've done all this before.
I'm also looking at my notes to remember things. Okay. And I will kind of just like look around me and then look at the open doors. And just very slowly walk in. Just it kind of goes from like Cornelius is not really angry, now he's a little confused and his curiosity is starting to kick in. Still a little angry though.
And walk through that front door, and that whistling continues. And you kind of relive that night. You look over as you and Spike sit there as Oleg pays for drinks because he's upper city folk and will do that. Paying for your Sky Coach everywhere, so you and Spike are already sitting at a table. You've heard of Spike, he's sitting there, but now you know Spike. And you're sort of living through it twice. People you've just met, and also people you've known for months now. You look over at Varian, who's standing at the bar. There's a changeling working the bar, and turns into this buxom woman who flirts with Varian just to get him riled up and just to bother him. Yeah. Just to make him blush. Oleg pays for drinks. And you're just looking at everyone as you first met them, your first day together. And you hear kind of the edge of your hearing that little melody start up again. Except it's a song accompanied by chords and other instruments. A song, not just a little whistling melody. You want to turn and look at the performer.
Oh, absolutely, 100%.
You turn and look at the performer, and you're immediately jolted awake as the iron door of the holding cell slams shut. Spike walks in yelling at his arm. Donovan calls out to you how weird that is. You're just kind of left with that resurfaced memory.
He just sits up, leans back, just kind of staying on the cot, leans back against the wall, crosses his arms, and just doesn't say anything. Just thinks about it. Just trying to make sure he doesn't forget.
Yep, of
He
course.
knows where he's going after this.
That evening, of course, after Spike is dismissed, they begin questioning Donovan Cornelius. Donovan, at like 7 or 8 o'clock that night, you hear Donovan, Damon, friends, Oleg, Spike, they've come for you. Free to go.
Oh, well, it has been a delight to talk to all you fine people, but I will be leaving. And I do want to say, like, while they're interrogating me, for every question they ask me, I ask them a question.
Oh yeah.
They'll be like, "Where were you during this time?" And I'm like, "Where were you during that time?" Also, do you know anything relevant to the case? So while they're interrogating me, I'm interrogating them.
Eventually she plays along and you start going, she tries to make a deal and say, question for a question, answer for an answer kind of thing. And she's in good spirits about it. She plays along and does what she can.
I ask for a cigarette.
Sure, they give you one.
I light it and I sit there and I put my feet up on the desk. just like lean back and just be like real
We
relaxed.
wouldn't expect anything else.
And like this isn't my first rodeo. It's my first rodeo being arrested by these specific people, but and so just I'll ask questions, I'll answer like I said I would.
Mhm.
But trying to eat up time by asking questions, so I have to do what they want as little as possible.
But eventually, Spike and Oleg, you release Donovan like 7 o'clock that evening, and you can chat and do whatever you need to. Or unless Donovan, you just say thanks and run home to see your daughter.
No, I'll stick around.
Okay.
I'll walk out and kind of just like, I'll like lift my arm and like go, oh god, and I'll like press to digitate like my armpit and like, oh god.
Portable
Just kind of like clean myself off, and then I walk out and I go, thanks boys, I owe you one.
Yeah, about $500 worth of ones. Yes.
Dollars.
Yeah, gills. It's a slang term that the kids use. I know you're getting a little bit older, but I hang out with
Okay,
Barry
okay.
and I pick some things up.
Yeah, you're a reporter. Your ear's supposed to be on the ground about these types of things.
I am truly speechless at this premise. Anyway, did you guys learn anything? Because I don't know about you all, but I'm ready to get back to it.
You just got out of jail.
Yeah, maybe you should
It's not the first time. Won't be the last time.
All right. Well,
Once we get Cornelius out, I'm sure we can start. We can get started.
yeah, I'm not jumping the gun until we got all the gang back.
Oh yeah, of course.
I obviously haven't really heard from. We still don't even know what happened to. What's her face? Dead person. Wendelin.
Well, no.
Have we tried to reach out? Have you guys tried to reach out since you've been out?
How the fuck will I do that? I don't have
Yep.
magic like that.
We don't know where she's at. We don't
I
even
guess
know where to reach out to.
Yeah, how? I guess I could get. I could contact. Is Varian with us? Like, I don't even know where Varian is.
I
at
think
this
Varian's
point.
still back at home. I don't
Oh,
think
yeah,
we
that's right.
we didn't meet. We haven't met up all together yet. But
we should
I
probably-
suppose
Would know Varian has sending.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Varian. Varian
Or-
sent.
I do too. I'm pretty sure.
I thought
Yeah,
Varian
I
had
don't
sending
maybe-
to me, right?
Yeah, I cast sending, targeting you earlier to ask about the other
Yeah.
situations.
Well, yeah. After we get Cornelius out, we need to. Like I said, I'm ready to get back to it. Did those guards tell you anything useful?
Did they say anything useful? Not really. You got to be honest.
Did they tell me anything useful?
By the time you're being let go, I mean, the fact that Dark Lantern Usid was in fairly positive spirits when talking to you. She was not, defeated or exhausted by the time she questioned you. You got a good vibe from them. And you probably picked up on that she made a reference or two saying, like, if we work together again in the future, I mean, you can always blah, 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 blah. So they, rather than now, they kind of kept on their word of saying possibly working together. But that's all just based on a few slips that she had.
Well, that Dark Lantern Yutsa, she seemed like she was amendable or agreeable to working with us if we needed to use her resources, but I kind of want to keep this as a small circle as possible, just in case there are people on the inside,
Yeah, I'm sure they would be happy to help us a little bit and then claim the rewards at the end.
Yeah, of course. But so the way I was thinking about it, after we get Cornelius out, I want to do what I was trying to do before we got caught up in that mess. Is go talk to a dead body.
Yeah, let's.
I think we should probably hold off on that.
Yeah. I think he was saying that we were once we-
After we
No.
convene. I'm not
No.
saying right now. Wait till we're
I
full
mean,
strength.
once we get everyone back, I mean everyone. That includes Wendelin.
I don't know if we should bring back Wendelin.
Yeah,
Listen, I know that y'all don't care about Spider Monkey as much as I do, but look, Wendelin's one of us. We gotta figure out. We gotta protect our own.
Is she? She kind of. I don't know.
Spike, it would have cost her absolutely nothing to give Varian some information that would have secured some kind of trust when Varian used sending before she disappeared, but I was right there when she ran off with that guy, and she made it was very nebulous, her intentions. And I don't want to think the worst, but also, we also have to consider that we just got arrested, and I don't want them on those guards on our asses again because we start walking around with someone who's now conspiring with a wanted criminal. We're gonna have to be careful, even if we do meet up with Wendelin.
When you say that, Spike immediately he crosses his arms and shoots daggers at you and say, and I also remember that we got in an unnecessary fight because somebody couldn't keep their mouth shut when we were at the wall. Do you remember that, Mr. Reporter?
No?
Well, let's just say you won't be riding on the hoverbike anymore with me.
No!
No!
Privileges revoked.
Listen,
No Bushinueve with the one last inspiration on the way out.
listen. I want to get the gang back together before we dive even deeper into this thing. And I know that you're new to this group or whatever, but I protect mine. No matter how far they've strayed.
I'm not saying that we abandoned Wendelin. That's not what I'm saying at all. I'm just saying that if we're going to meet up with Wendelin, we got to be careful that prying eyes are not also watching us, because if we all get arrested again because we're running around with Wendelin out in the open, we're going to be fucked.
And you think we don't know that? You're not saying anything new, Donovan. There's been a chance that there's prying eyes ever since the start of this. There's a whole organization that's killing people for no reason. There's always been eyes.
They have their reasons, it seems. From the conversations, it didn't sound like they were altogether crazy. They just decided the wrong conclusion.
Sure, but look, and who even knows what's going on with Varian? I mean, who even knows he's going to be able to hang with us anymore?
What do you mean? He's going to hang with us.
You sure?
I have known Varian my whole life. Yes. Have I not? I've known Varian for a long time.
Well, you've known Varian's whole life, just about.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. I've known Varian. I've known Varian his whole life.
I was there when he was conceived.
I am actually his dad.
I was videographer.
If you look closely at his dragon mark, it's actually House Kundarak and a Madani combined.
I say, look, I trust Varian. I do understand his family can say some things, but Varian has, he won't give up on things whenever he's dedicated to it.
Oh, good.
I'm more worried about Spider Monkey. We don't actually know that much about her. She very easily could be persuaded by the cause. She's, a vigilante herself. Maybe she tries to go in there, believe the cause, maybe change their ways from the inside. I don't know.
I'm friends with the vigilante, and I don't think that they're that easily persuaded.
Sure, if you say so.
I think Varian will be back. Yeah, I think I got a good read of the kid, and I think that he's gonna stick around until we finish this and figure it out. But Spike, you're giving me a lot to think about. I think I'm gonna take a walk.
All right.
I'm just saying we could have killed the person instead of having died. You know.
I light a cigarette and I walk away, noticeably a little downtrodden.
Skipping ahead just a tad. Spike, Oleg, you either part ways, do whatever you need to do for the rest of the evening. Donovan, you go for a walk, eventually returning home, I assume.
Yeah.
Of course, you have what would normally, probably for a normal family, where daughter would be like, "Oh God, I was so worried. Oh, are you okay?" Your daughter's like, "You're a fucking idiot. What did you do?" All sorts of stuff like that. What would you like to tell her in response to her being like, "What the fuck's going on? What the hell?"
I just look at her and I just go, Dad's not in the mood. All right, we're not in the mood. We're not in the mood. I don't want. I'm. Hijinks ensued. Blah blah blah. Risks of the job. Blah blah blah. Go to your room. I don't know. Leave me alone.
She says, "Well, we had a delivery today," and hands you a letter that is from the senior editor of your little squad of the Sharn Inquisitive, Godfrey Montel, effectively your boss. Sealed, stamped from the Sharn Inquisitive. She hands it to you. Says, "Hope you're not in trouble."
Yeah, me and you both. If I get fired, no one's gonna pay for your college.
Dad, don't get fired, please.
Yeah, now you care. All right.
Yeah, okay, yeah, yeah. Do you want me to write an article for you?
I don't need you. I don't need you to write No, get out of here. Go kiss your new boyfriend. Leave me alone. Yeah, I saw you.
He's dragging away.
Okay, do we have to talk about this about right now? I mean, you.
Well, we're gonna have to talk about it eventually.
Eventually, just not right now, because you just got out of jail, and I know you need to rest. And do you want me to make you some tea?
I just want to say you're normally very purple, but you're getting your red is showing. You're looking a little bit more like me.
Yeah. She runs into her room, slams the door. Yeah.
You could have at least just brought him over. I'm not gonna eat him.
She doesn't respond. I'm not gonna eat him.
I just like long drag like, how do I reach these kids? I look at the letter and like the package or whatever, and I just kind of lay on the couch, the place I normally sleep, and I just hold it in my hand, and I just like I have this like long like internal dialogue where I'm just thinking about like, did I really fuck up that bad back there? Was that my fault? And I think about like, maybe I should just stick to desk work. And then I like fall asleep for like a couple hours, and then wake up and then read the letter and do whatever.
It's vague, which instills just a sense of anxiety just because there's not a lot of information. It essentially just says, "See me ASAP at my office."
Haha, love that. So I wake up and then go, shit. Shouldn't have went to sleep. And then I go to the office.
Yep. The following morning, almost simultaneously, as Donovan, you open the door to the your office space, shared office space in the Sharn Inquisitive. The lead door of the holding cells open, and this time it is not a Citadel Knight. This time it is Dark Lantern Usid. And Cornelia, she's already questioned you about everything she needs questioning from. She says, "Hey, Mr. Bray, you've made bail. A few of your friends have chipped in. Would you permit me a word before you head out?"
Sure. What do you need?
And, they've already let you out of your cell at this point, and she pulls you off to the side. Says, "While I think we've reached the conclusion that this house killer is not necessarily a danger to the king or nation, I don't think I'll be able to convince my superiors of that. If somebody is attacking the house, any of the houses, then it will come back to us eventually. We like to say that the houses are on their own and they have their own council to govern stuff and their own people to charge that kind of thing. Whatever else. I guarantee we will not. This is not the last we'll be involved with everything."
I imagine. The houses, the nobility is the power of the king, yada yada, all that crap.
Yeah.
Yeah.
At least you understand. I can see two outcomes for this situation. We can either drop all of this ourselves right now, and eventually it will probably come back round, and we'll have to go through all this again, and you may get in trouble again, maybe for worse if you were told to stay, whatever might be. Can't necessarily predict the outcome. Or you and your friends can sign a bit of paperwork, let us give you a few resources, let us in the loop, and keep going about this above board. Pretty much you don't have to deal with me, which is good, because I'm pretty laid back as far as most of this stuff goes. But from what I've seen of you all, you are not one for authority. So I would understand a refusal of this offer. I think you would understand the consequences of if you decline and all this, if you can't solve the case in a reasonable time before anything worse happens. That makes sense?
Oh no, crystal clear.
And I know you can't speak for everybody, so...
I was about to...
Yep.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
But
I'm not going to speak for my friends.
But if you...
They make that decision on
If
their own.
you would agree, and you would consider your friends potentially in agreement, we can send out a few agents to speak to them and get a final say. But I think it could be beneficial.
Before we go that far, I think I'm just gonna have a chat with them myself about it. I'll bring your offer to them myself. I'm not gonna agree to anything standing right here and now. It feels a bit little on the coercion side when I'm still standing in one of your cells, door open or not.
Understandable. Now, I know it seems from what you all have said, time is a little bit of the essence. Would you be able to meet with them by the end of the day and let me know something?
I'll be in touch.
And she reached out to shake your hand.
I will shake her hand. There's no spirit in it. I'm shaking her hand. So
Limp dead fish handshake.
not
No,
like
I'm just
limp,
kidding.
but there's
I'm
no
kidding.
gusto to
Yeah.
it, you know. and I guess as I go to like walk away, I'm just gonna kind of like just a hand on the shoulder as I walk by. You know the scene from like movies and shit. I'm just gonna say, well, no matter what happens, a word of advice: whoever we saw on that street ain't human. And I'm gonna keep walking.
She kind of nods. You open the lead door to the holding cells once again, just as Donovan is opening the door to his boss's office. Donovan, when you enter, it is a journalist's office. There are filing cabinets galore, packing every single wall, all sorts of shelves, a desk at the center, a window that overlooks the city of Sharn, and effectively a J. Jonah Jameson of a man.
I knew it.
Thick brush,
I need pictures of Spider-Man.
yeah, a thick brush of mustache that almost hangs down to like past his lower lip. Salt and pepper hair. He's a big built guy, but a little dad belly, a little beer belly. But from your time with him as an editor, he's a by the books, I want things this way or not at all kind of way. And so when you come knocking on his door and open it up and he sees you, takes whatever article he just received, looks at it, throws it down. Donovan Damon.
That's the name I put on my articles.
And I hope to keep seeing your name on articles.
Me too, boss.
I like you, Donovan. You know that, right?
Yep. All the way this conversation is heading, it seems like that opinion's changing.
No, I still like you. I know you're doing good work. However, people upstairs don't really care for the idea of a reporter of theirs, a pair of shackles on their wrists, and a record to their name. And you don't need to tell me any of the details. That's your business. But I know you wouldn't get involved in any kind of nonsensical shit. Pardon my language. I know that's not you, but sorry, but you either got... We just released this week's edition of The Inquisitive. There's not a new one for another week. And I've been told to give you express instructions to either write the best damned article you've ever written for publication next week, or you're suspended until further notice.
Okay, easy.
Wait, really?
Yeah. Who do you think I am?
I
thought I was in trouble. You just told me to do my job well? I do that every week. You're crazy.
Well, it's a little bit higher stakes than just doing it. Well, I mean, if you...
It's all the same to me. And, like, I'm already, like, starting to walk out. I'm like, that's all right.
Okay, 1 week. You know the deadline. You write article. God, fuck. And you...
I walk back in, like, I pop my head back in the door, and I'm like, hey, speaking of which, you got any extra creamer bots lying around? I really need one.
No extras. I mean, each division has one.
Can I borrow ours? It's very important.
No, you can't borrow him.
Please?
No, he's company property.
I know, and I work for the company. It's important. If you want a good article, you have to give me the bot.
Because you work for us. That's not how anything works.
It's like a company car. Instead of a car, it's a bot. It's the same thing.
No, he's like an entity. I mean, I guess he is owned by... Okay, now that...
What if I ask him and he says, yes, I'd like to come?
I mean, no, he's still a company. Just leave him. Come on. Here. And, he flips through and gives you the House Canneth business storefront that they purchased creamer from. Because you can get your own.
Okay, how much is it?
It doesn't have the exact. It just has the like storefront address and stuff like that from it.
Okay. I take it.
You take that. Any final mentions to your editor?
What's he wearing right now?
You know, sweaty white button-down shirt, suspenders, slacks, khakis from the khaki castle.
I lean over and I go, "Hey, boss!" Like I lean my head back in the door. "Hey, boss! Those are some nice khakis." And I leave.
Oh, thank you. I know. And
Yeah, the khaki castle. I know. They're horrible. Wouldn't be caught dead in them.
Meanwhile, pan across the city to Bob strutting around in keggings.
Yeah. Yeah.
You can't tell by
After,
the way I use my
after the trauma of dealing with the dead child case, he was just like, yeah,
Bobby needs a win. Time to buy some
Yeah.
khakis.
I need this more than ever.
I love it. So you
Yeah.
exit, and of course, as you are making your way over to see if you have any new things on your desk, and of course, it's piled high with article ideas, additions in the newspaper, anything that people thought would be interest to you. But as you make your way over there, you are intercepted by Creamer, the little round Modron with a cup of steaming coffee in his hand.
I take a cup of coffee.
Yeah, he hands it to you. He pulls out another one. Says, "Hey, I heard about what happened with the King Citadel. I'm really sorry about that. That's rough, buddy."
I pat him on the head and I go, "It's all right." How are things around here? You do anything interesting? You have a good weekend?
You will not believe this.
Oh, I can't wait.
So, Sandra made a specific request to get a hold of some hazelnut coffee. Can you believe she's so needy?
Oh, that saucy bitch.
I know. She always needs that little bit of extra dash of just whatever it is. You know, she wants us to go get some.
Oh,
takeout
she
food
cheat
for
the
lunch.
world
I know,
revolves around
right?
Sandra?
Can
Oh
you
my
believe it?
god.
I
can't. I cannot.
I told Montel. He told me to take it up with maintenance. I took it up with maintenance. They told me to take it up to the department head. So I went up to the department head and I put my finger in their chest. And you know what they said?
What did they say? What did
Take
they
it
say?
up with the Creamer manager here at the Sharn Nights. I didn't even know we had a manager, and so I found the.
You have a
Creamer
manager?
I apparently do. And
Who
so I
are
went
they
up to
managing?
I guess all the Creamers. I don't know. And I went up to them and I put my finger in their chest. You know what they said? You know what they said, Donovan?
What'd they say?
They'd get me that hazelnut coffee. It's a miracle.
Incredible. How is it?
It's.
Do you
alright.
drink the coffee?
It's alright.
Is that weird for you?
I never thought about it as weird, but now that you mention it, it might be a little weird if I drink the coffee. Yeah, you're right. But anyway, so without you here, and other, people were out doing all of their normal investigating and stuff. I got a little bored, not gonna lie, and I went snooping a little bit. You know how it is. You get a little bored, start snooping.
Oh, don't I know it?
And did you know we had a lost and found?
Do we? I had no
Apparently.
idea.
I had no idea either.
Tell me you found something, please.
I did find something, and I just thought that after the day or so you've had, and I've been keeping my ear to the street. I'm just kidding. I never leave the Sharn Inquisitive, but I've heard a few people murmuring about the kind of stuff you've been running around. And anyway, I thought you'd like this, and pulls out a notebook with the little pen slipped into the binding of it. Says it was in storage. It's blank, so that's pretty cool. You can start a whole new journal.
Why, thank you. I needed a new one.
And he hands it to you, dispenses another cup of coffee, and as you're looking at it, you see that it is a very nice leather-bound journal with a double-colored cover, and you can see along the spine. Let's see if I have a good. A journal, and split down the middle. The front cover is blue, and then the back cover is red. However, the front cover is blank, and it's held closed by a little snap latch. But it snaps closed on both the back,
Fuck you, Travis.
the back and front cover, which is odd. Normally it's just stitched to the back and snapped at the front, but this one's snapped on both. The back cover has a silver inlaid clock on it. But you notice that the way you hold it, the way that the clock is facing, it's almost a double-sided journal. When you look at it from the front, it has the blue cover with the snap, but then you flip it vertically, it's now a red cover with the silver clock and a latch. Almost like it's a double-sided journal with a sterling silver pen slipped into the binding of it.
Well, Creeper, this is a very nice gift.
Yeah, and honestly, I've been here for, I don't know how many decades now, and I've never really seen anyone use that, but also I've never seen it lost and found. I go snooping in there a lot. I get bored kind of a lot. I only do coffee and small talk, so
And you're very good at both.
Yeah, and honestly, looks around, opens up a side compartment on himself, pulls out a little pair of pants and puts it on. He says, I don't know who last wore these. They're super small, but I really like them. Do they look good?
I take a moment, and I go, I think that's fucking fantastic.
He leaves them on.
Okay, now you're gonna make a Creamer emote with pants.
I don't do that. He says, but yeah, I found that notebook in there last time I was in there, and it's really strange. I don't know where it came from.
Oh, well, I appreciate it.
Are things good with you and the boss man?
Oh yeah, he's fine. He just told me to write a really good article, and I'm like, okay, that sounds like Tuesday.
That's good. Sounds like Tuesday. That's
Thank
good.
you.
That's good. Hey, anything else you need?
No, I'm good. I want to try some of that hazelnut coffee the next time around, but I'm good right now.
Oh, of course. All right. Sandra just came in. I gotta go.
Fucking Sandra, am I right?
Yeah. Be cool, man.
I'm the one who tells you to be cool. You don't tell me to be cool. What are you talking about?
Just kind of like gestures, and then you hear him like off at the opposite end of the office, like, Sandra, babe, you're looking good. Who did your hair? Did you get a haircut? And it's just his job.
He's too much.
Too much. At this point, everyone has been bailed out. Magic items, those will come in place. I'll message all the specifics to you guys who need them. But after a little while, it is the weekend, so Varian no classes. Maybe Oleg, a few like garden parties you may have standing invitations to that you don't really necessarily have to go to at all. You all can message, convene, and coordinate a grouping up together as Cornelius, you are released from jail via the Madani family, and you can sort of plan out as a group where you would like to meet.
Cool. Do we want to just try to meet up at Oleg's or Varian's or somewhere and then talk about what we want to do next?
I'll say, well, it seems like my home is rather occupied and has been for a while. So I think that I'm not really sure how we hung out to my place last time, but we should probably do Varians this time.
Or if Varian, if you'd like to not have, we're like on the phone. I don't know. We're figuring it out.
I managed somewhat to smooth things over, but I feel as though exacerbating the situation would not be wise at present. Perhaps we can
just
find
come to
a
my
nice,
place.
coffee shop or brunch location upon which to convene and discuss our plans.
Would you guys want to come to my place? I got room enough for us to sit. I'll make you some breakfast.
Did you say public, Austin?
Not public. I said not public.
We could. I mean, yeah. Our other options are Cornelius's place, which I don't think I've ever been inside of, and a Spike's place, which I don't think we could sit at. So it's not your place. Sounds good.
Sitting room.
You can sit on the floor.
My
So
place is
early
doable,
afternoon.
but like,
So around early afternoon, you all make your way to around the university district where Donovan lives, and you all again, you've known Donovan for 3 days, and so you don't really know that much about him. And he gives you the address, and you all immediately realize, like, oh, he kind of lives in a nicer part of the city. And then you make it to this very middle class, like, lovely suburban district. All these nice little houses and yards, relative to Sharn at the very least. And it kind of catches you all a little bit off guard. You're welcomed in, and in this nice suburban home, you see portraits of family, and it's lived in. It's cute. Jacob.
A lot of rich mahogany tones.
Yeah.
A lot of like,
Warm colors.
it's clean, but like, it's like messy in the way that there's like newspaper articles and stuff, like stuff that like notepads and things I'm working on like on a coffee table, and like a lot of coffee cups, but that's like the only mess. Like coffee cups that need to be stacked and cleaned, but that's like it. And there's like plenty of places to sit. There's like lots of sitting chairs and things.
Who are my two observant people?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh no.
Do you want to know what it's at now?
What's it at?
What my passive perception is?
What is it?
23.
Mine is 22.
Nice.
Nice.
So
What horrible secrets are you about to unveil about my home?
So you walk into this very lovely suburban home. Donovan is already in the midst of cooking some like brunch, making some coffee, all that kind of stuff. Make yourselves at home. You sit down on the chairs and recliners, sit down on the couch. And Varian and Cornelius, as you both sit down on the couch, it's a bit worn in. And you kind of can just feel noticing like the blanket kind of bunched up at the end of the couch, and the areas that it's not sunken in on the cushions, it's sunken in the middle. And you kind of either realize that either Donovan just sits in the middle of the couch all the time, or he's
Like
sleeping.
a psychopath.
Yeah, like a
I'll do you
psychopath.
one better. I'll do you one better. The door to the bedroom is open, and like the master bedroom has like a big like king size bed,
Perfect.
like perfectly made.
Yep. And I imagine with your past investigations and also just taking a few moments to like look around and really take it in, Donovan sleeps on the couch.
With trying not to betray I guess the small twinge of sadness, or perhaps not so small twinge of sadness as that has entered Varian's mind, I will just slide it like a cardboard box of pastries across as the coffee table and just be like, I brought some macarons. I hope that's all right.
I like am in the kitchen like scrambling eggs like with chopsticks, like whisking eggs, and I'm like, I look and I'm like, what the fuck did you say? Macarons?
In my house?
They're it's 2 cookies with cream on the they're quite good.
I reach my hand out and telekinesis pop one off the tray and into my hand. I bite it. I'm like, Varian, these are fucking fantastic. And I continue to make eggs and toast and things.
And so we have about 20 minutes left to kind of run through this last little bit. And so you kind of, you each catch up, talk about some of the things that, questions you may have asked, things experienced. Yes, Jacob?
I do want to say that in preparation for people coming, if I had time, I would have gotten I tried to find some of that Warforged liquor. And whenever, if I could, if I'm allowed, if I can find some.
Yeah, you're able to find some.
Okay,
Yeah, you
so
have been
if
able.
I find some, and when everybody gets there, and like everybody's like getting seated, I like call Spike over for just a second, like by the door, like a little ways from everybody else, but like not super far.
Yeah.
Sorry if I ruffled your feathers the other day. I got you this, seeing as we're working as a team. Don't want there to be any hard feelings, and sorry if I got you any trouble the other day. I hand like a wrapped like thing of the Warforged liquor. I hand it to Spike. If we're gonna solve this thing, we got to work together.
I reach to grab it, but I hold my hand out. As I hold onto it, I look him in the eye and I just say, "Just don't get too big for your britches there." I take it and saunter on in.
So
Yeah, that's. I just smile and I keep cooking.
Yep. So you all kind of recap each other. Can
Is Mona there?
it is a weekend. However, let me.
I just imagine like it's like morning and like we haven't spoken since last night. Like she like went to her room. I imagine she like comes out like in the pajamas. She just sees like five
No,
strange
yeah.
men
And
sitting in the living
she's-
room.
She's
like-
like a TA from one of her classes.
Yeah, she is a college student, and it's a weekend. She's not getting out of bed until noon.
Until like noon.
And so you
Yeah.
guys are sitting there. It's like 1:00. She's probably just been sitting in there toiling away, like writing in her journal or reading, or you know that she doesn't have any kind of means of contacting anyone, but who knows what she's doing in there. And so she kind of wanders out, smelling the eggs and bacon and coffee. Steps out, and you all see the teenage tiefling, purple skin. Her hair is kind of messy and frizzed up. Walks out in her pajamas, looks up, recognizes Varian. And stops, looks at you, Donovan.
Oh hey, you want some eggs?
Breakfast in bed? Please?
I mean,
I don't...
why you're not gonna
we-
say hi? These are my new friends.
Did we remember seeing this person?
Who is
I
it?
forget who was with us.
Yeah.
It was
Yeah.
Spike and Varian that were with me.
It was
I was with you. I
Yeah,
was with you
so
as
I'm
well,
just
right?
like wide-eyed, mouth
'cause-
just like a little like
No, that was when we split up. You,
Yeah,
so, like,
and
you
you
meet-
and Cornelius
elsewhere.
were.
yeah.
we went to the
Oh.
club and
They went up
stalked
to-
the professor.
Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Yeah,
he's
so
like the Donovan.
Yeah, so Spike, you now recognize Desmona, his daughter, and they, for both of you, it kind of like clicks pretty quickly of like, oh,
And I introduce each of them, and I go, "This is Varian, Oleg, Cornelius, Spike. They're new coworkers. I'm writing an article about the investigation agency. I'm helping."
Did you tell us about her dating a dude?
no.
Why would I?
Why would
I
Yeah.
I don't remember what my character knows or not. Like,
And in a pretty fervent display of the kind of relationship they have, she walks over, shakes each of your hands, and kind of like greets you. And she walks into the kitchen and says, Dad, it's finally nice to meet some of your boyfriends, and grabs some of the bacon and takes a bite, and she says, I mean, I assume you're spending all the time with them. You gotta be fucking, so I don't know.
I spit out coffee.
And
just like-
you can
I
tell
look at her-
Donovan, she's trying to rustle yours. She's showing off a little bit,
Yeah,
trying to.
unfazed.
I've like never heard somebody speak to their parent in that way. I'm like,
Unfazed, I turn and look at her, and I said, "Hey, you're still on thin ice for sucking face with Chad. What's his face?"
I spit again. Sorry.
Pours herself some quick coffee. Nice to meet you all. And runs back to her room, slams the door.
as she's going away, I'll say, "Let me know if you need any help getting rid of him when you're done."
I look at Oleg. I look at Oleg and like deadpan. I go, "Noted." And I go back to what I'm doing.
So you all debrief. Eventually, after about an hour or so, you all kind of chat a little bit about kind of whatever you would be willing to talk about. You mentioned some of the questions you were asked, some of the things you told them. Eventually, Mona leaves. Says she has some plans. It's the weekend, so she's gonna go out with some friends. Anyone with
Oh, is that his name? I didn't know his name was Plans. That's
slams
pretty
the
weird.
door and keeps running out.
I laugh to myself like only a dad
like
can.
only a dad would. And you all have the home to yourselves to chat.
So I will like bring over like a second round of coffee or whatever, put it on the table, and sit down in like my really beat up looking armchair, And I will look at everyone. So I have like a basic plan. Unfortunately, I think it requires splitting up again, but after talking to Spike and Oleg yesterday, I think that some of us need to try to figure out where Wendlin is. But I also think that we need to keep trying to make some kind of progress with the case. So, I know Spike really wants to find Wendlin, so I assume you want to do that, Spike, right? And bounty hunting's your thing, so you could probably track her down.
Yep.
So my proposition is we split into two teams. One team goes to try to find Wendlin and figure out what she's doing, if she's okay, if she's gonna try to murder Dragonmark people, who knows. And other team try to make some progress with the case. I want to ask one of the victims questions with some magic, and if anybody else has any other leads they want to pursue. I look at Cornelius. Wink, wink.
Wait, I do. And
All right,
if we're talking to dead people, I can do that just whenever I want. So you don't. So you know.
Okay, so
I
Cornelius,
will say,
I guess, is with me then.
I will say, before we talk about this further, when I was let out, I was made an offer, and I told her I'm not making that decision. So I was effectively told that we have two choices. We either keep doing what we're doing just by ourselves, whatever, and we're eventually going to run into the Citadel again. And they're probably going to arrest us again, and there's no guarantee that we're going to walk away scot-free again. Or this becomes their problem and our problem at the same time. Essentially, well, as she put it, we seem to have a bit of a problem with authority.
Oh, fuck her for saying so.
Yeah, that's... I was
damn, she has a
nicer
point.
about
Shit.
it. But we can either just do this on our own and try to solve it before they get involved again, because according to her, it's only a matter of time before they get involved the second time. Or we team up with them and report to them. This stops being our case and kind of more or less becomes theirs, with us doing the legwork.
Well,
If I understood that correctly.
yeah. From the way that you spoke about it, you would effectively be working the case as normal, but with like a cape of the Citadel around you. So you would have a little bit more leniency as far as like warrants and questioning. You would have resources available to you. So that includes like some magical things, like if you needed something, but also if you needed to gather information, you could say, could you send out some people to figure out about this person or where this person might be, what this place is, stuff like that. So being able to help out with some of the footwork.
So Cornelius will explain it better because Austin has tired brain.
No,
and
yes,
misunderstands things.
it's awful times. Of course, there's still the idea that they are shadowing you,
Yeah.
but you effectively get to keep working the case with a bit of extra help, but with the problem of they're ultimately in charge in a way. So it's
And I will say at the end, and unfortunately, we have until the end of today to make that decision. And I have to contact her with that decision by the end of the day, essentially. So, I feel like we should be making that decision before we do anything else.
I don't think it's really much of a choice. If we can agree to work with them, it'll get them off our butts for a while. What do you guys think?
I agree. It doesn't seem like we have much of a choice in the matter.
You know, I've done cases for the Watch. I've done cases for the people on the other side of the Watch. I've worked with a lot of authority figures that I'm not very fond of. Not real keen on working with them if I can help it, but these seem like a cut above just the Watch. They don't seem. I'm still not fond of the idea, but it would be better than reporting to the watch. They seem less concerned about themselves, a little more concerned about actually getting results. So,
Feels
if that
we all want this person off the streets and unable to continue what they're doing. Don't take me as vain or proud, but I don't want at the last minute at the King's Citadel to swoop in and for us to be a footnote in the case, when in truth they would really have nothing.
Well, don't worry about that, because as long as I'm involved, you guys are getting the credit. My career is actually at stake, so I will make sure that this story is told and the right people get the credit.
All right then.
Oleg, Spike, what do you guys think?
I don't like working with them. But, I don't know. Killing them sounds like it's not an option either.
the duality of Oleg.
Can I kill them? No. Fine.
I guess.
I guess.
Well put, Spike.
Sure.
Is Spike's face still all rusty?
Oh yeah.
That's the point.
Spike, after time, you would have noticed rust on your arms and hands. You could feel it scraping on your face. Would you take the time to prestidigitate from someone, or just leave it?
Yeah,
Okay.
I would have gotten it fixed.
Whenever I busted him out of jail. Right, did I notice it then?
You would notice that, yeah.
Cool.
Do you know prestidigitation, Oleg?
Do I know prestidigitation? That is a good.
Predidigitation.
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 Do I know the
Yeah, me too.
prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation.
Do I even have D&D Beyond open right now?
Nope.
Are you playing D&D right now, Travis?
I don't know. I really truly don't. I think I
Either
closed
way,
it.
we'll say there are plenty of people who could do prestidigitation. Fuck, your mage right friend who lives with you could do that. So, yes. So, Spike, if you wanted to, you could get cleaned up, like it never happened.
Yeah, cool. I gotten cleaned up.
Then I will address that at some point. That it's not 5 minutes before I'm supposed to hop off.
Yeah.
Yes. Any final planning things?
So to wrap that up,
And Donovan.
me and Cornelius are gonna go look at a dead body and follow Cornelius' lead. Spike is gonna go look for Gwendolyn. Does anybody feel particularly inclined to join either of these?
Unfortunately, my attempt to track Gwendolyn last night was somewhat abortive, but I have been working on a new spell, which might be precisely what we need.
Varian, your abilities that you've displayed so far make you also particularly good at finding people as well as getting people out of trouble. And I've got a really bad gut feeling about that guy that Gwendolyn ran off with. Whether Gwendolyn's on his side or not. If you want me to be honest, Spike, you're going to need the help. And that's not a slight at you. I know that there's something not right about him.
I'll go with, because that means if we find Gwendolyn, I can either kill the man or kill Gwendolyn, and it's a win-win for me. So
If you could, I believe I can find her, and if you both can prevent me from getting cut in twain, That be an agreeable alliance.
Logan, can I
I'm all
fuck
for
up your
it.
day real
Alright.
quick?
Maybe.
We're talking about Windland, and I think about a ability that I've just acquired. I would like to cast Legend Lore
Okay.
and say Windland. So I would like you to
Do you have 250 gold pieces worth of incense and 200 gold pieces worth of ivory strips?
Yeah, now he's gonna get real.
Now he's getting specific about our spell
Well, I
components.
know legend lore, and I know it has a pricey material component, so that's why I brought that up.
Jacob's like, I got my day fucked up.
So effectively, do you have
Go into your,
do you have
go knock on your
400
daughter's room. She's a college student. Of fucking course she has incense.
Yeah,
I
but
knock on the door like, boom, boom,
How else
boom.
are you gonna cover up that dank kush, bro?
You don't have to.
I know
I
what
like
you're.
I like knock on the door, then open it, and she's like on a sending stone with her boyfriend.
Nah,
She's like,
she left.
yeah,
She
my
left.
dad keeps bothering me. You said your name was Chad. How did he know? But I'll do that later. That's fine. I'll it's all right.
Alrighty. Would you like to go contact Dark Lantern Usid before or after you do some snooping?
I say after.
I say before. Oleg says, I think.
I
that
say
we
during.
I think we should just, I don't know, just casually contact her. How about Varian or whoever can do the like talk in your head thing? Let's just you do that thing.
Perhaps we could. Now we don't have a great negotiating position here, but perhaps we could hammer out some terms. Yeah, I can contact her. And
You're gonna
I guess-
hammer out terms of an agreement over sending, which is 25 words.
Yeah,
Fuck yes.
that did occur to
Contracts-
me.
Contract should be short and sweet, motherfucker.
But that's so much wiggle room that they will also use against you.
That's true. We could probably just contact them and say like, "Hey, meet
Yeah.
us at Oleg's place or something." I don't know. Who's somebody's place?
I mean, Ori knows where the King Citadel base is. I'm sure he could take a letter.
Oh yeah, can we find that? I think that's another question I had. Do we know where Pickle is? I don't.
No.
I'm asking the. Okay, so you say the voice in the sky says now. I would. Maybe we should. Does anybody have a spell that can possibly find that bird? Or alternatively, does anybody have like a, I don't know, find person spell? I don't know if that's a thing that you can do.
I can undismiss words, undismiss Squinch, and have him try to track Pickle down.
I just feel as though if we find the pickled, we find the weasel.
Also, if we find the weasel's girlfriend, we find the weasel.
That's also true. As
That's why they
another,
pay Spike the big bucks.
as another question.
Not at you.
Maybe I have questions. Varian, while we're going out and traveling, I have some separate questions for you another day.
Okay.
Or during this day.
So we're splitting up 2 and 3.
Sure.
It would appear so.
All right. Well, you guys stay safe, and if you run into any trouble, make sure you contact us so we can get over there and help.
Okay. Can you cast sending as well?
I look in my brain. Yes.
Okay. So one person in each group can cast sending. If anything goes wrong,
communicate immediately.
Yes. We will make sure that you have the first scoop in the newspaper about it.
Thanks.
So
Okay. So
That's a weird. Hearing Scoop and Oleg's voices is just
not
weird.
good.
I don't
Not
know.
good against the ears. So who is going where and doing what?
I guess Cornelius and I are going to the Sharn Watch place to see that autopsy victim or whatever the person who died in the crash that we
Yes.
hadn't actually talked to.
Morian?
We're gonna go. We're gonna go. We're gonna go speak to that dead body, then go to that bar that Cornelius saw.
I was
That's
gonna
what we're
say,
doing.
Cornelius is going to say we should stop by and check the body, but I think we should go a little later in the evening for that bar.
Gotcha.
Well, maybe in between that, you could possibly talk to them about the terms and conditions. Then.
I will
Just leave me with the
take
terms and
care of
conditions.
any errands we need to ahead of time. Then I will acquire the proper material components, and I will cast Scrying on Wendelin.
Oops.
Go to a church. You don't even have to get the material components. Then just go to a church that has a
Want the
pool of
holy
holy
water.
water.
Yeah. Sorry, Father. I need to borrow this.
Dunk's head in holy water.
Yeah.
Hey.
I
Um,
see
you
you.
don't look at the reflection in the pool. You have to submerge yourself.
I'll let Carson decide. Do you have anything from Wendelin to use?
Let me look. Possession or garment.
Who was it that gave us this?
I don't know. Can we say I don't know, like a bit of her hair got like stuck in the joints between Spike's hearts or whatnot?
I kind of like the idea that like a little bit of vomit is found on your
Yeah.
shoes.
I was trying to skirt around the nest. I know where we can go to get vestiges of Wendelin.
We'll say I'll roll a d20. We'll say 15 or higher. You have some portion of her, whether vomit or hair. or
What if you rolled a 17?
Ooh, that's a good use of important roll. That's a good one.
Got him.
That's a good one. And so, that evening, you find, you go to the Church of the Silver Flame, find a pool of holy water, and you go to cast a spell, and you're like, oh, wait a second. And you turn and look at Spike, scan him up and down, find one of Wendelin's curly hairs stuck in his armor. Like, oh, yeah, that'll work. And begin casting a spell.
I cast a spell on you.
Oh boy.
Yeah, and I believe because I am familiar with the
It's a
target.
-5, and then you have part of her, which is -10, so she had a minus
Yep.
15. So she got a -11 on these save.
Wow.
Well, my spell save DC is now 17.
Damn,
so,
so
yeah, that will
close.
fail.
Damn.
Oh my god.
So it is the following day, or no, 2 days following the attack. You see that scrolling on Wendelin lasts 10 minutes. At what time of day are you doing this?
I don't know. Do we want to do it in the evening or in the afternoon?
Could not care.
Yeah, let's do it like mid-afternoon,
Afternoon. All right. So like right after you guys meet.
like 2:30 maybe.
You would probably catch Wendelin in her private quarter, in some dark, seemingly subterranean chamber. It is a simple sleeping room spread out across a stone floor, illuminated by candlelight. And she's... You can tell that she's kind of thinking, talking to herself, jotting a few things. Make a perception check for me.
Perception? Okay. Okay. That's going to be 18.
You hear Gwendolyn say, like, I'm sensing it though. Then you hear another voice. Well, yeah, that's hard to integrate. Hey, how about this? The houses have made Sharn a better place, but by funding the war, they inadvertently caused tragedies such as the mourning, the death and destruction caused by the peripheries of the war, including in Sharn. That's not good enough. And she's never gonna believe that. And Gwendolyn pipes up and says, I mean, it does kind of follow in the code of protecting Sharn, and with the houses, I see what. Yeah, I think we can spin it a certain way, right? God, it would be so good. Well, at this point, you see Gwendolyn starts to get frustrated and say, well, we're supposed to be, we're gonna meet him, right? Yeah. Wait, what day is it? Yeah, that's fine. Oh, let's go. And your scrying sort of like gets a bit fuzzy, milky, as Gwendolyn and this off-screen figure are shrouded in shadow and then appear in a busy street somewhere else in Sharn. Make an investigation check for me.
Okay. Uh, 23.
Oh god, you recognize where they go. It is somewhere in Lower Memphis. You see plenty of clubs and old performance halls, and you hear music and cheering, and you see street performers. And one says, yes, it's a little hole-in-the-wall place over here, and at this point, cry fades.
Okay, I kind of come out of... I turn. I know where she is.
Is she going to be there long?
No. I don't know who... Wait, the voice? Did I recognize... Was it the voice of the masked dude?
It was not. It was a feminine voice.
No. She won't be there alone. She's there with somebody. Not the man with the sword. At least she didn't go there with him.
So she's
Go off
just
the voice.
meeting a bunch of people who are... That's cool.
I don't think she's
That's
going
cool.
out for drinks with friends. Actually, it's Gwendolyn, so maybe she is. But they were talking about coming up with a convincing story for something, and spinning a narrative. I couldn't listen long enough to know the context, but she's planning something. She went there with one other person to meet other people. Know where she is. She doesn't know we're coming. We have the drop.
Well, you make a mighty fine bounty hunter, boy. Let's get moving.
Yeah, Spike slaps me on the back. I just... Thank you.
My mechanical hand breaks your spine immediately.
Yeah.
Snap.
Yeah, I'm just like staggering along.
Austin, it looked like you were about to say something.
I was gonna say, like, when Donovan and I begin to make our way, I'm just gonna look at him and say, it would take. Yeah, thanks, Toland.
Say,
Yes, Cornelius. Very convincing argument.
I'm just gonna say,
spoke to Baxi.
I'm just gonna look at him and I'm gonna say, look, I'm not even gonna bother trying to explain how I know where we need to go. But after we talk to one of the victims, we need to sort a couple of things out. This place that this lead that I've got, say a bar that me, Oleg, Spike, and Varian went to on the very first time. One of the very first times we worked together. It's a place in Tavik's Landing called the Dragon's Eye. I just 99% certain that something we are gonna find something of value there, whether we know it or not.
All right.
There's this, and while we're out and about, just I need you to trust me on this, but listen for this. Listen for a particular melody, and Austin cannot remember it right now,
That's
Logan,
fine. That's
but
fine.
he whistles the melody back.
And because I have keen mind, I will never forget it.
Yeah, you always remember that little melody.
And I'm gonna tell him, if you hear that, whatever that is, whatever that's supposed to represent, whoever that's coming from, that's what we're looking for.
All right, you
More
got
than
it.
likely. So
Perfect.
I'll keep an ear out.
So that's where we will stop for today. We will see how much we want to do in or out of game as far as like speaking better or anything.
for reference, I have Whispers from the Grave, so I can cast Speak with Dead at will.
Oh, that's tight.
Oh, bro, I'll let you do that shit. I'm not gonna.
That's
waste
why
my
I said
spell
let
slots.
me go along. I can do that
just
shit
do it
whenever I want.
Well, it can only be done once a week, but you can do it.
That's all you, buddy.
I'm the same person.
That's where we'll stop for this week. We'll pick up again next week, and we will
Murder Wendelin.
we'll figure out what happens with Wendelin, and we'll figure out what happens as far as your deal with the King's Citadel goes. Yeah, we'll see what happens. Woo! Glad to be back.
Boy.
Ooh, I'm nervous to be back.
I'm very excited that I already got to use my new spell.
Same, bro.
I got to throw that shit at things that didn't exist.
Take
I wish I got
control
to
of
try
your
out my new spell.
nightmare. Oh, I need to send people their magical thing.
Yes.
For Carson's reference, it's just a ring of protection, so +1 to AC and saving throws.
Cool.
That your dad has had apparently since he was in college, so for like 200 plus years, 300.
That shit
plus
probably
years.
smells gross.
He prestidigitates that shit all the time.
Your dad never took it off, not even to
Gross.
Nope.
And,
go to the
Nope.
bathroom.
Good.
and for Donovan, you now have the Scrivener's Logbook.
Scrivener?
Fuck is that?
It's not a
Really?
real item. It's
He made it up.
made it up.
Sounds so cool though.
Notebook.
It's something. Jacob's gonna hate it a lot. And I'm probably going to include it on my little Wizard Week magical item stuff, because it could also be a wizard item.
I will let you know how much I hate it when she sent it to me.
Alrighty. Any final remarks from my players besides Travis, who's about to immediately go to bed?
Xavier came out swinging today.
Yo, Xavier, you did it in Todd's campaign too. You're really out for blood.
I liked it better when it was directed at Carson.
I kind of had it coming if you're in Xavier's character's shoes, but also it was fucking brutal. I loved it.
Yeah, that whole thing. I just remember when it all went down. I was like, when it all happened weeks and weeks and weeks ago. I was like, wait a minute, we're moving too fast. We shouldn't even be getting into this. And then we were already in it. And I was like, Spike will remember that. But yeah,
It's okay. I apologize.
I love it.
yeah, I would say we're
And
good
that's some
now.
good character growth because normally, like bards, and whenever they're doing their thing, there's like whatever. But like to actually convince a bard to be like, maybe that was a little too.
Well, and my thing is also like
Hey, that's
the way that I envision is like Donovan has like a quick temper and he tries to keep it cool, like that meme, like the thing of Hades from Hercules, like I'm cool.
it's cool.
but-
It's cool. I'm cool. It's cool.
That was in such like we were in such like a high tension situation. I was like trying to be really like snappy and quick, and like literally everything I did was not like the wrong move, and like after I was real stressed about it. And even me, like after the session, I was like, God, that was dumb.
But it's good now. Like, it's such
Yeah.
good story stuff. I love it.
Yeah, I was just like, I was like,
character. Awesome.
yeah, and that's why like Spike, he was like, don't get too big for your britches, because he was just like, it was like that should have never have happened, I was like, that was a good. I was like, and also I was like, you know what? I had a feeling. I was like, going to jail is probably gonna impact this all differently a little bit, right? Like, because like we didn't like just go to jail. We went to like prison. So I was just like, I was wondering, reflecting on all of it, I was like, how is Spike gonna handle that? And
Well, also
the events
weird
that led
shit was
to it.
happening with your mind.
That's
So like you
that's
were probably
good.
already like, and I didn't take that shit too personally because like you also just had like this weird like conscience splitting like thing happen to you. So you were probably like real wigged out.
Oh yeah, Spike's like he's like on edge.
Mhm.
But yeah.
Living on the edge.
And
I'm a donkey on the edge.
And I think especially for the people who live in like lower city or at least aren't dragon marked, like you can only like yes, you were only in there for like 2 or 3 days, but for lower city folk, if you can only rely on people to bail you out so many times before like you're just left out to dry. And so it's like that
was-
threat.
That was another thing I was like, I thought about also like we've known each other for 3 days. It's all right if he gets a little mad at me. We don't know each other that well.
That's true.
In this too deep. Well, thank you guys for being so patient with all that. It was very scene by scene, character by character, but I think after a few weeks off that we needed that kind of stuff.
Oh yeah.
I'm very eager to see what is in store. I have some cool stuff that I still need to unveil to you guys. Now I need to talk with Alan. I don't think I need.
Honestly,
Alright.
from that scrying, he's looking real sus right now.
Fair.
From that scrying, Oleg's going to kill him.
Fair. But
Some missiles are about to be deflected.
for real though, bullet. Ping! So, on that note, I think that's it for this week. We may, depending on, I'll probably chat with these guys out of game to see if there's anything that we want to do like off screen, just so that way we can kind of skip forward a little bit as much as we can. So we'll see where we're at next week. However, Jacob, get warming up. We will be here next week. Travis, you look so just absolutely beautiful.
There's joy in my eyes. You just can't see
Absolute
it.
joy. Same Sharn time, same Sharn place. Hit it, Jacob.
Sharn Nights, 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 Sharn Nights. Hey,
Sharn
Okay.
Nights.
I don't. All right.